Lin Shi was suspicious of the entire research institute. All the staff had gathered in the forge. It was packed. When Lin Shi arrived at the door, several staff members in white coats were chatting nearby. I heard this weapon is 2 meters long, over a meter wide, and weighs more than 500 caddies. Is that for real? What does Director Li need such a heavy, cumbersome weapon for? You've never heard of Li Erheo? A Tier 2 evolver. We estimate he can lift over 1,000 caddies with one hand. A 500 caddy weapon is nothing to him. Li Erheo, a man that strong, with such a terrifying killing intent. Is there any creature that can even stop him? There are. I heard the director say that the origin beasts are evolving too fast. Now, with the harsh winter, many of them can't find food, so they're killing and devouring each other to evolve. It won't be long before a much stronger beast tide attacks our sanctuary. Yeah, being a researcher is tough, huh? Yeah. Hearing the conversation turn to him, Lin Shi eavesdropped from behind. He glanced at Lin Tianrui, whose expression was also quite grim. Clearly, he knew about this as well. Lin Tianrui gave Lin Shi a slightly bitter smile. The burden on his shoulders was growing heavier by the day. He was responsible for the lives of tens of thousands of survivors and thousands of soldiers. One small mistake could cost countless lives. The last time he had suggested Lin Shi become the sanctuary's leader, it wasn't a test or a joke. He genuinely felt that with Lin Shi's strength, he was a better fit for the role. He could just provide support from behind the scenes. With him and a few other elders in the sanctuary backing him up, Lin Shi could surely lead the sanctuary further than he ever could. Unfortunately, Lin Shi had refused. The last beast tide was so powerful that the memory still terrified him. Could they really use the same old tricks to wipe out the next one? Luckily, they had now found a method for mass-producing gene-unlocking medicine for ordinary people. The rest was just a race against time. Lin Tianrui sighed and said, "Brotherly, shall we squeeze in?" Lin Shi nodded. He was thinking the same thing. These researchers were all physically ordinary. It was easy for Lin Shi and Lin Tianrui to push through the crowd. Seeing them coming, the researchers automatically made way. Soon, Lin Shi had squeezed to the very front and heard Li Xianke's booming voice from inside the forge. "More origin power. Pour it in, Wang Chao. Didn't you eat today, you brat? Keep pouring in the origin power." "Director, I'm trying." Wang Chao had his hands on the finished battle axe, channeling all his strength into it. But the origin weapon was like a bottomless pit. Even with all the origin power in his body, he couldn't fill it. This was a colossal battle axe, 2.1 meters long and 1.3 meters wide, even larger than the 1.7 meter long, 1 meter wide axe Lin Shi had used before. It was 4 times heavier. The massive, heavy blade was covered in vivid dragon carvings. As Wang Chao channeled his origin power, the spiral-shaped inlays on the handle of the giant battle axe began to glow. But it was only a faint, weak blue light, flickering unsteadily. The light soon dimmed and went out completely. Wang Chao's face contorted. He let go, staggering back 2 steps, nearly collapsing. Lin Shi quickly caught Wang Chao. He could see the man was completely drained. Seeing Lin Shi, Wang Chao's eyes lit up with excitement. "Brother Li Erheo, it's great you're here. The director saw you weren't around and insisted on dragging me over to test this origin weapon. This thing seems to absorb a crazy amount of origin power. Be careful in a bit." Previously, the Research Institute had forged a long saber using Tier 2 materials, and they had Wang Chao test its power then, too. This time, when he heard Director Li wanted him to test an origin weapon, Wang Chao was initially thrilled. He never expected this thing to be a bottomless pit. He had already poured in over 1,000 points of origin power, and it still wasn't full. "Wang Chao, if you can't do it, just say so. Don't assume everyone is as useless as you. All talk and no action. Get out, get out. Go play somewhere else." Li Xianke's eyes lit up when he saw Lin Shi. He immediately shoved the now useless Wang Chao aside. Wang Chao, already exhausted and unsteady, was nearly knocked over by Li Xianke. Luckily, Lin Tianrui caught him in time. Wang Chao's face turned pale with anger. If it weren't for the time and place, he would have definitely argued with Li Xianke about how a man can't say he can't do it. Li Xianke pulled Lin Shi in front of the battle axe, his face full of anticipation. "Brotherly, your turn to try. Channel your origin power and chop that pile of steel plates over there. Use all your strength." The steel plates Li Xinke mentioned were in an open area, stacked about a meter high. The forge had specially made them to test the power of the battle axe. Lin Shi nodded without another word. He also wanted to know just how powerful this origin weapon, forged from 3 high-grade materials, nearly 3 million of his contribution points, and countless rare metals, truly was. Lin Shi placed his hand on the handle of the battle axe and channeled the origin power from his body into it. All the scientists in the lab watched the changes in the origin weapon intently. Li Xinke stood right next to Lin Shi, his eyes glued to the battle axe. The inlays on the handle once again emitted a blue light. This time, the blue glow was much more distinct. Even the scientists standing several meters away could see it clearly. As Lin Shi continuously channeled origin power into the battle axe, the blue light spread from the inlay at his wrist to the entire handle. Even the dragon patterns on the axe blade lit up. The 4 dragon heads glowed with a faint blue light, as if they had come to life. With a surge of strength, Lin Shi lifted the colossal battle axe from its stand. Holding it in his hands, after consuming more than 2,000 points of origin power, the weapon finally seemed to activate, becoming incredibly sharp. Lin Shi's expression turned serious. He gripped the axe with both hands, raised it high above his head, and brought it down on the meter-thick stack of steel plates. Many of the scientists, imagining the loud crash that was about to happen, instinctively covered their ears. Some even held their breath in suspense. But the expected sound never came. The battle axe touched the steel plates and, in an instant, sliced through them like tofu, without making a single sound. The axe blade cut clean through the meter-thick steel plates, and half of the blade even sank into the forge floor. The entire room was dead silent. So sharp, no one knew that Lin Shi had pulled back his strength the moment the axe cut through all the steel plates. Otherwise, the battle axe would have been buried deep in the forge floor by now. A look of shock flashed in Lin Shi's eyes. He forcefully lifted the massive battle axe. Even though he had tried to pull back, the forge floor was still left with a deep gash 1/2 meter deep and 3 meters wide. A chorus of sharp hisses echoed at the same time. At some point, a crowd had gathered around Lin Shi, their eyes wide as they stared at the clean cut on the steel plates and the gash on the floor. So this is the power of an origin weapon. It's terrifyingly sharp. Why is this origin weapon so much sharper than the last one? Someone asked. The previous origin weapon, made from Tier 2 materials, had cut through a 2 cm thick steel plate during testing, which had already amazed them. When testing this battle axe, Li Xinke had already estimated its power to be very high, which was why he prepared a meter-thick stack of steel plates. He never expected to still underestimate it. As expected of an origin weapon forged from Tier 4 materials, Li Xinke practically wanted to press his face against the battle axe. He stroked the handle, his expression one of pure fascination. Seeing Li Xinke about to touch the blade, Lin Shi quickly moved it away. Directorly, this weapon is extremely sharp. Lin Shi's call brought Li Xinke back to his senses. This old man was brilliant in many ways, but sometimes he could be quite foolish. It cut through a meter of steel so easily. What would happen if he touched it with his hand? Had he not thought of that? Li Xinke pulled his hand back and said excitedly, "We haven't fully tested the power of this origin weapon yet. I'll have someone prepare more. We'll test it again. Xiaolu, get someone to forge some alloy steel plates right away." "No need." Lin Shi stopped Li Xinke. "That's enough. This origin weapon can probably cut through 2 more of those stacks at most. That's its limit. There's no need to test it further." Lin Shi wasn't telling the whole truth. He just didn't want to test it anymore. This weapon was incredibly powerful, and he didn't want others to know its true limits. The spies in the sanctuary hadn't been caught yet. News about this origin weapon could soon be passed on to the Zhai family. So, Lin Shi directly put the battle axe away. Li Xinke had also crafted a weapon harness for him, allowing him to carry the battle axe diagonally on his back. Li Xinke wanted to persuade him further, but seeing his resolute attitude, he had to give up. Soon, the scientists in the forge dispersed. Lin Shi also prepared to say his goodbyes to Lin Tianrui. He had come to the sanctuary to have an origin weapon forged. Now that it was complete, there was no need to stay any longer. During his time in the sanctuary, his overall strength had progressed slowly. The wilderness was where he belonged. Lin Tianrui naturally wanted to keep him, But he understood Lin Shi's personality and knew he didn't like staying in the sanctuary. He could only sigh and say, "Then at least stay for lunch before you go. I'll have someone prepare the reward for your first mission." Lin Shi nodded and returned to his room. He did some simple packing, mostly for show to avoid revealing his storage space. Just as he finished, a soldier brought him lunch. Today's lunch was surprisingly lavish. Beast meat stewed with potatoes, grilled potato cakes, and a large steak cut from a horned beast. Even the Demon King's lunch was a Tier 2 beast. During his stay at the sanctuary, Lin Tianrui had covered all of Lin Shi's food expenses. This meal, if converted to contribution points, would have been quite expensive. It was clear Lin Tianrui had spared no expense. Not long after lunch, a soldier brought over 1,100 gene pills. It should have only been 1,000 for capturing a Tier 2 evolver, but Lin Tianrui still included that person in the reward. Lin Shi closed the chest full of gene pills and said to Li Wei, who was standing there, "Thank your leader for me." With that, he loaded his things onto the Demon King's back. "Comrade Li Heo." Seeing Lin Shi leaving in such a hurry, Li Wei called out loudly, "Aren't you going to say goodbye to the leader?" Lin Shi lowered his head and thought for a moment, then shook his head. "No need. I'll be back." Lin Tianrui was a good man. Lin Shi quite liked the leader of this sanctuary, but goodbyes were always a bit sad. It was better not to say farewell then. Lin Shi signaled for the Demon King to set off. Receiving the command, the Demon King immediately shot off like an arrow. In just a few moments, it had rushed out of the sanctuary, its face full of glee. Finally, going home. On the sanctuary's city wall, Lin Tianrui and Wang Chao had appeared at some point. "Leader, why didn't you go down to see Li Heo off?" Watching the Demon King carry Lin Shi away, disappearing like the wind over the horizon, Lin Tianrui's expression was somewhat complex. "No need. It's not like he's never coming back. What if he doesn't come back? We still owe him gene pills. If he really doesn't come back." At this, Lin Tianrui thought of Lin Shi's character. If he really doesn't come back, it most likely means something happened to him. He swallowed the rest of his words and said, "Even if he doesn't, we still have to send them to him. What am I doing standing here? Are you that free? Or do you not have enough work to do? Is the special training for the new evolvers done? What are you doing just standing here?" Lin Tianrui glared angrily at Wang Chao. Wang Chao smiled bitterly. "Leader, have you forgotten that I still haven't fully recovered my strength? Then get down there and recover." Seeing Lin Tianrui seemed to be angry out of embarrassment, Wang Chao could only chuckle and turn to head down the city wall. Only Lin Tianrui remained on the wall, gazing in the direction Lin Shi had left. After a long time, a soft sigh echoed in the wind. After leaving the sanctuary, the Demon King couldn't hold back any longer. Coupled with being homesick, it ran faster than a four-wheeled vehicle. In just over 10 minutes, the man and his beast had returned to Ma Long Village. The once familiar Ma Long Village was now covered in heavy snow, its former appearance gone. But returning to this familiar land still made Lin Shi feel incredibly at ease. "Let's head up the mountain." Lin Shi looked up at the mountain. It had snowed these past few days, and with no one to clear it, his house was more than half buried, with only the chimney exposed. Back on the mountaintop, the first thing Lin Shi did was let the clouded leopard and the long-armed ape out of his storage space. Come on, let's dig." The clouded leopard and the long-armed ape had been cooped up for a long time. Seeing the sun again made them ecstatic. They dug through the snow with immense enthusiasm. An hour later, the entire mountaintop was restored to its original state, and Lin Shi's house was fully revealed. Lin Shi returned the Demon King, the long-armed ape, and the clouded leopard to his space, promising them they could hunt freely tomorrow. He began to clear the ice blocking his door. But just then, a group of survivors from another place suddenly appeared on a different mountaintop. Someone pointed at Lin Shi's house and said, "Boss, there's someone over there. Boss, someone's there. Let's ask for directions." Lin Shi finally cleared the block of ice from his door, but didn't rush to open it. He turned to look at the group that had been standing in the distance for a while and asked, "What is it?" He had noticed them long ago. They had been there since he was 2/3 of the way through clearing the ice. They just stood there, watching from a distance, neither attacking nor leaving. Hearing Lin Shi's question, one of them shouted back, "Hello, is this Sha City?" Lin Shi glanced at them. 10 men, 3 women. The women were bundled up tightly, standing behind the men to draw less attention. They were laden with bags of all sizes. In contrast, the 10 men weren't carrying much. Each one had a weapon hidden in their clothes. These men exuded a fierce aura. Their clothes were tattered and filthy, looking as if they hadn't bathed or washed in months. Lin Shi could tell their situation with just a glance. "You're from out of town?" "Yes, we're from Xianguang. We're looking for the official sanctuary. Do you know where it is? Come closer and talk." They were standing far away from Lin Shi, clearly wary of something. Hearing Lin Shi's words, the man who had spoken to him turned and said something to the others. Then, one person approached Lin Shi, but he walked very cautiously, even raising his hands high above his head. "We mean no harm." His cautious demeanor was as if he was afraid Lin Shi would misunderstand their intentions. After all, Lin Shi was alone, while they were a large group. If they knew Lin Shi could wipe them all out in half a minute, they would surely be astonished. The man who came closer to talk to Lin Shi was the leader of this group. He stopped at a distance where they could speak clearly. "Hello, my name is Wu Shengli. We came from Xianguang. We want to know where the official sanctuary is. If you can show us, I can provide you with information about the outside world as payment." Lin Shi raised an eyebrow. This was the normal attitude of survivors who had lived for a long time in various cities during the apocalypse. Wary, fierce, but they knew the rules. These survivors usually used trade to communicate with others to get what they needed, avoiding casualties on their side. They wouldn't let others take advantage of them, nor would they take advantage of others. The ones who robbed and pillaged were usually survivors from the early days of the apocalypse. Anyone who survived this long and the harsh apocalypse knew that getting injured meant weakness, infection, and death. Unless one side had overwhelming power, they wouldn't just attack without a word. Either that, or they were desperate. These survivors from outside Sha City gave him a sense of familiarity, reminding Lin Shi of his time in High City. Lin Shi agreed. Since this group had made it this far, finding the official sanctuary was only a matter of time. It would be good to get some information about the outside world from them. Then I'll speak first. Chuan Province has been overrun by giant beasts. 3 of them. Chuan Province is in an extreme freeze. Although many people freeze to death every day, the military is still there. The military gathered the survivors, occasionally distributing some food to help us get by. I don't know when, but many giant beasts started appearing in the city, even some previously gentle species. Familiar animals from before also started eating people. They grew more numerous and stronger. Even the military's weapons couldn't kill them. As more and more soldiers died, the military started recruiting able-bodied young men from among the survivors, but they still couldn't stop those giant beasts. Later, we heard that someone in the military managed to contact the military in Sha City, where a very large sanctuary had been established. When we left, the temperature in Chuan Province had dropped below -70 degrees. Giant beasts were everywhere. The military couldn't retreat either. With the military providing cover, we desperately fled in this direction. To avoid being detected by giant beasts with keen senses of smell, we split into small groups. There were about 100 of us when we set out. Many died from the cold, sickness, or starvation along the way. Wu Shengli recounted the information he knew in a fragmented manner. "How long did it take you to get here?" Lin Shi asked. "Over a month. We moved pretty fast. The others are probably behind us," Wu Shengli explained. Lin Shi nodded. He knew he had asked the right person. He said, "This is West Hill. The official sanctuary is in East Hill. From here, head east for about 40-something kilometers. You'll see the tallest and largest structure. That's the official sanctuary." "All right. Thank you, brother." Wu Shengli was overjoyed. He thanked him again, then slowly returned to his group. Returning to his group, Wu Shengli waved to Lin Shi from a distance, then led his people down the mountain. Lin Shi watched until the group disappeared from sight before looking away. He had scanned them with his spiritual power. This group was of high quality. 2 Tier 2 evolvers, 6 Tier 1 evolvers. The rest, though not yet evolvers, had faint origin power within them. Wu Shengli, the one who had just spoken with Lin Shi, was a Tier 2 evolver. A team with such strength, no wonder they could travel the long distance from Chuan Province to Sha City. If the survivors who came later were of similar quality, it would definitely be good news for the sanctuary. Lin Shi returned to his safe house. He first checked the electrical system and the generator. Seeing no problems, he turned on the lights. Lin Shi cleaned the dust in the house, then took a hot shower. Afterwards, he let out Xiao Miao, Long, and Hua to stand guard. Returning to his room and lying on the soft bed, Lin Shi thought to himself, "There's no place like home. Finally, I can focus on cultivating my spiritual power." The next day, Lin Shi ended a night of cultivating his spiritual power using the continuous consumption method. His spiritual power increased by 4 points, now at 814. After a hearty breakfast, Lin Shi went out and released all the origin beasts from his space. "Go on. Be back before dark. If you run into trouble, send someone to let me know." The Demon King nodded excitedly. It let out a howl and led the giant panda and the wolf pack away. It was clearly dying to get out. Lin Shi, on the other hand, led the long-armed ape and the clouded leopard up the mountain from a different direction. Coincidentally, after just half a day in the mountains, Lin Shi encountered another group of survivors, who also seemed to be refugees. As soon as they entered the mountains, the long-armed ape seemed to have discovered something. Lin Shi guessed it had smelled a mutated plant again. Finding mutated plants was very time-consuming, so Lin Shi let it go on its own. He and the clouded leopard continued deeper. But after nearly half a day, they still hadn't seen a single beast. Just as they were about to reach the next city, Lin Shi finally spotted a Tier 2 white fox in the snow. "There, lunch is on you." Lin Shi ordered the clouded leopard to catch it for lunch. He had been walking for half a day and had almost forgotten to bring lunch. This was something Lin Shi hadn't expected before setting out. The clouded leopard chased the fox far away. He sat down, took out some dried meat to eat, and waited for the clouded leopard to return. As he chewed, Lin Shi wondered why there were no beasts on the mountains of Sha City. During the last beast tide, quite a few beasts had fled into the mountains. Now, there wasn't a single one in sight. A new beast king must have appeared nearby. With a beast king, the beasts would gather and obey its commands. In that case, the next beast tide attack was probably not far off. Even while eating lunch, Lin Shi didn't let his guard down in the wilderness. He suddenly turned his head to look in one direction. On the slope of this mountain, a group of people was stealthily approaching. "Leader, that guy saw us. Do you think he knows?" Hidden in the snow, Shi heard his subordinates question. He didn't answer. Theoretically, from this far away and with their camouflage, they shouldn't have been spotted so quickly. Shi licked his dry, chapped lips. They hadn't found any food for 2 days. Coming here from Chuan province, they not only had to avoid beasts but also guard against ambushes. It took a lot of deliberation before they decided to hunt in the mountains. Who would have thought there was nothing in the mountains, only a single person? The mountains were covered in snow, and most of the trees were buried. There was no cover. Lin Shi, standing alone on the mountain, was very conspicuous. Shi had spotted him from another mountain. So, he wanted to lead his subordinates to try their luck. "Is that guy eating something? He must have food on him, boss." Hearing this, a subordinate behind Shidu's eyes lit up. He was so hungry he couldn't help but shout. "Shut up, you idiot." Shi hissed quietly. He looked at the 6 subordinates behind him. Greed for food was evident in all their eyes. They were clearly starving. "We saw clearly from the mountaintop just now. There's no ambush around that guy." Shi confirmed again. "Boss, we had a clear view from the high ground just now. There's nothing else around him. Besides, this is the middle of nowhere. Only an idiot would set up an ambush here, unless he knew we were coming." A subordinate said impatiently. He was starving. If Shi wasn't the strongest among them, he would have charged up long ago. Shi knew his subordinate was right. His hesitation was just a habit of caution honed by the frozen apocalypse. Shi stood up and said to his men, "We were probably just spotted by chance. In that case, we'll go straight ahead. I'll take the lead. Lao Air, Yuan, circle around from the other side for a pincer attack. The rest of you, act accordingly. Let's move." "Yes." The 6 men's eyes lit up, not with a normal light, but with the greedy glint of a starving person wanting to devour flesh. A lone survivor was the most ideal prey. Shi saw that Lin Shi was still looking in his direction. He raised a hand and smiled, slowly approaching. Seeing that Lin Shi didn't move, the smile on Shidu's face remained, but a cold, murderous glint flashed in his eyes. There were still several hundred meters between the mountainside and Lin Shi. Just as Shida's group was halfway there, they suddenly saw Lin Shi turn away. Boss, he's not looking at us anymore. Slow down. Watch out for traps. Lin Shi turned away because on the other side of the mountain, another group was approaching him from a position Shida's group couldn't see. To think that after walking for half a day, he only encountered one beast, but plenty of people. This group moved much faster. They weren't as cautious as the other group either. Lin Shi remained calm, stuffing the last piece of dried meat into his mouth, waiting for the group to get closer. If his guess was correct, both of these groups must have come from other cities. He wondered if they were from the Chuan province that Wu Xingli had mentioned yesterday. Hello, we are soldiers from Chuan province. May I ask how far it is to Sha City from here? A sturdy man wearing a tactical cap walked up to Lin Shi. He was in military uniform, carrying a camouflage backpack. Seeing Lin Shi remain silent, Wang Luan thought he had made him nervous by approaching with his group, so he took the initiative to reassure him. Don't be afraid. We won't harm you. We want to go to Sha City to find the large sanctuary. Do you know Major General Lin Tianrui? Head east from here. This time, Lin Shi didn't bother probing for information, but directly gave them directions. He could tell they were indeed soldiers from their gait and posture. Moreover, their eyes were calm, without the murderous aura that filled the eyes of other survivors. Seeing how readily Lin Shi gave directions, a look of joy appeared in Wang Luan's eyes. He probed, have other people from Chuan province come here? Did you meet them? How many survivors are there? He guessed Lin Shi might have met other survivors. Wang Luan was quite excited. The dozens of other soldiers waiting in the distance thought something was wrong and rushed over, asking cautiously, Captain? Wang Luan quickly stopped them. It's fine. Go back to your positions. Don't scare him. Stay alert to your surroundings. Watch out for beast attacks. Yes, sir. Wang Luan said to Lin Shi. Sorry, I got a little too excited just now. I met a group of survivors yesterday. I've already given them directions. If you want to go to the sanctuary, you should get going. They might close the gates if you're late. Lin Shi didn't mind. As long as this group had no ill intentions or hostility, he didn't mind lending a hand. Thank you, comrade. Wang Luan was overjoyed. He took out a dark, black object from his backpack that looked like some kind of sorghum cake and said to Lin Shi, this is for you. Thank you for the directions. Lin Shi looked at the suspiciously colored sorghum cake in Wang Luan's hand, frowned, and refused. No need. I'm just serving the people. Lin Shi said solemnly. A flicker of emotion appeared in Wang Luan's eyes. On their 1,000-kilometer march, passing through so many cities, they had witnessed the darkness of humanity in the apocalypse. This survivor before him, dressed in rags, Lin Shi wore little for ease of combat, not fearing the cold, was so noble as to help them without asking for food in return. Wang Luan suppressed his emotions, and to show his gratitude, he kindly asked, Can we take you into the city? It's not safe for you to be alone in the mountains. No need. I'm safe on my own, Lin Shi replied. His mind was on the clouded leopard. Where had it chased that fox to? It was usually so fast, but when he needed it, it was so slow. He secretly decided to put the clouded leopard through special training. Lin Shi never considered the possibility of the clouded leopard running away. After reaching Tier 3, its intelligence was no less than a human's. It knew that by following Lin Shi, it would have delicious food and evolve quickly, which was far better than fighting for food with other origin beasts in the wild. Wang Luan was about to persuade him further when a soldier ran up to report. Captain, we've found 7 survivors on the other side of the mountain. They're also from Chuan province. Wang Luan's eyes lit up. Bring them here. Yes, sir. A moment later, the soldier led Shidu's group, their faces filled with fear and unease, to Wang Luan. Wang Luan looked at Shidu's group. Don't be afraid. We are the Chuan province military. Are you also from Chuan province? Shitu put on an honest look and nodded. Yes, sir officer. Are you as well? That's great. We've finally found our people. Shitu was overjoyed, so much so that he grabbed Wang Luan's hand in his excitement. He was genuinely happy, because meeting the Chuan province military meant he no longer had to worry about finding food himself. Wang Luan was also a bit emotional. I remember at the time, the survivors were all in groups of 100, led by a few soldiers or an officer to retreat. Why are there only a few of you left? Where are the others? Shitu froze, letting go of Wang Luan's hand. In a heavy voice, he replied, as if in extreme grief. We encountered a huge beast pack on the way. They died protecting us so we could retreat. There were also many people from our village. Sob. It's our fault for being cowards, for not staying with them. I deserve to die? I deserve to die. Shirtu went from choking up to sobbing uncontrollably. This big man covered his face with his hands and beat his chest forcefully. Before the apocalypse, Shirtu was a farmer. He had an honest and kind appearance. But if anyone took him for a simple farmer, they certainly wouldn't live long. With this face and his masterful acting, Shirtu had made many people let down their guard and become his prey. Seeing Shirtu start his act, his subordinates immediately lowered their heads, hiding the expressions on their faces to avoid giving anything away. If these soldiers knew that the officer who had led them before was killed by them, they would surely be killed. Wang Luan had no suspicions. He quickly stopped Shirtu, sighing heavily. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself too much. It's our duty to protect the people. Their sacrifice was glorious. After speaking, he took off his tactical cap to mourn his fallen comrades. The other soldiers followed his lead. 2 minutes later, Wang Luan put his cap back on and said to Shitu's group and Lin Shi, who was waiting for the clouded leopard to return. All right, it's getting late. Let's go together. I've already asked this comrade for the location of the sanctuary. If there are no surprises, we should be able to get there before nightfall. Shirtu wiped the corners of his eyes, looked at Lin Shi, and gave a simple, honest smile. Thank you, little brother. I'm not your brother. Don't call me that. If you want to go, then go quickly. I still have things to do. I'm not going with you, Lin Shi replied coldly. He hadn't said a word to Shita's group since they arrived. Although Shita's act was good, Lin Shi still noticed something was off. These people had a heavy killing intent. Of course, this was quite normal for survivors who had made it this far. But Shita's attitude was too forced. With such a heavy killing intent, he must have killed many people. It was absolutely impossible for him to pretend to be so harmless. This Shirtu guy was a good actor, a B-list actor at least. Too bad his acting was over the top. Lin Shi still clearly remembered this group stealthily approaching him on the mountainside earlier. They clearly had no good intentions. Being bluntly rebuked by Lin Shi, Shitu's expression changed, a ruthless look flashing in his eyes. But he immediately scratched the back of his neck, pretending to be embarrassed. Sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm just a farmer. I don't know how to talk. Lin Shi didn't want to watch this burly man act in front of him, so he said bluntly, surviving until now is not something an ordinary farmer can do. That officer died, but you still made it here. That proves you have skills. The knife at your waist still has blood on it. That color. Looks like human blood, doesn't it? You kill so decisively, yet you pretend to be weak. Are you trying to make others let their guard down? Wang Luan frowned, glancing at the knife at Shita's waist. The knife was sharp, and the bloodstain on it did indeed look very much like human blood. Human blood and animal blood were slightly different. Wang Luan had been too excited before and hadn't noticed this detail. Now, hearing Lin Shi's words, Wang Luan felt that Shirtu had seemed forced from the very beginning. Even if Shirtu was once a farmer, after experiencing so much, how could he still be as simple and honest as before the apocalypse? Shitu's subordinates quickly spoke up. Deshan has always been like this. He doesn't know how to deal with people. We've been taking care of him on the way. That's right, officer. Don't listen to his nonsense. I think he's the one with bad intentions, being all alone in the mountains. The seed of suspicion had been planted. It couldn't be easily removed. But Wang Luan didn't treat Shita's group poorly just because of his suspicions. He tried to mediate. All right, let's head to the sanctuary first. It's getting late. This gentleman still has things to do, so we'll part ways here. See you again. Wang Luan gathered his soldiers and had Shita's group follow, but he kept a certain distance. Sensing the suspicion, Shirtu clenched his fists, his eyes flashing with killing intent as he looked at Lin Shi. Lin Shi let out a cold sneer. He knew these people were no good, and he had no intention of letting them go. After watching Wang Luan lead his people away, Lin Shi sank his consciousness into his space and called for Huahua. Huahua, the little psychic cat, was strong in spiritual attacks but had poor defense. For safety, Lin Shi had never let it go hunting. Now, with no other origin beasts around, Huahua's special ability was perfect for the job. Hua appeared in Lin Shi's arms, obediently rubbing against him. Its golden eyes shone with a brilliant intelligence. Unlike house cats before the apocalypse, the intelligence of origin beasts was something pre-apocalypse humans could hardly imagine. Coupled with the innate talent for spiritual power of origin beasts, Hua had an extremely strong learning ability. Now, it could easily understand everything Lin Shi said. It was even smarter than the clouded leopard and the long-armed ape. Lin Shi stroked Hua's soft fur. Go kill some people for me. Wait a minute. Let's wait for that idiot leopard to get back. Lin Shi looked to his left. The clouded leopard stopped in front of him, the strong wind it created making Lin Shi squint. What took you so long to chase down one fox? The clouded leopard lowered its head, pawing at the snow on the ground, a clear look of guilt on its face. All right, let's go. Don't make any noise later. On the mountain path, Shidu's group of 7 followed behind Wang Lun. Not too close, not too far. They huddled together, whispering. Boss, are we under suspicion? That thing before. We ate that officer and evolved. Shidu's group were originally just ordinary people. On the road, an officer in their team was seriously injured while protecting them against origin beasts. Due to a lack of medicine and food, his injuries worsened. Starving, Shirtu and a few other survivors ambushed the officer. At the time, they just thought they could eat his flesh. After all, the officer was about to die anyway. It was like putting him out of his misery. Unexpectedly, after eating the officer's flesh, Shidu's group unlocked their genes one after another. Shirtu ate the most, so he unlocked his genes twice in a short period, becoming a Tier 2 evolver and the leader of this group of survivors. As they traveled together, the survivors in their team were gradually eaten by beasts or died off, until only 7 of them remained. The incident with the officer was their biggest secret. Shirtu narrowed his eyes at the subordinate who was speaking, warning him in a low voice, "Don't ever mention that again, or I'll kill you." The subordinate knew he had misspoken and quickly shrank back, looking at Shirtu in fear. Right. Sorry, boss. My mistake. I won't mention it again." Another subordinate chimed in. "It's all that kid's fault. He got lucky. If the army wasn't here, I would have definitely killed him." Shirtu recalled Lin Shi's appearance earlier, a demonic glint appearing in his eyes. He curled his lip into a cold smile. "It's fine. There's plenty of time. Sha City is only so big. That guy is definitely from Sha City. We'll find him and kill him. I bet he's an evolver. When the time comes, we'll make him a part of my strength." Shida's eyes were terrifyingly fierce, his voice like a demon rising from hell. The other subordinates quickly chimed in. "The boss is wise. From now on, don't call me boss. Call me Deshaun. The sanctuary is definitely managed by the military. Drop your usual act, understand?" As Shirtu and his men were whispering and planning for their arrival at the sanctuary and how to deal with any suspicions, something strange happened. One of Shidu's subordinates, the one who had just spoken, suddenly collapsed, his eyes rolling back into his head. Shirtu was startled. Thump, thump, thump. Before he could react, all 6 of his subordinates fell to the ground. Only Shirtu remained standing. What's going on? Shirtu drew his weapon, looking around cautiously. Hearing the commotion, Wang Lun noticed the abnormality on Shidu's side and rushed over. What happened? What's wrong with them? I don't know either. Shirtu was completely clueless. Everyone around them was fine. There were no signs of an attack. Wang Lun immediately checked the condition of the 6 men. He checked their vital signs. They were unconscious. Could it be that the 6 of them fainted from hunger? Shirtu thought so, but even he didn't believe this reason. How could 6 people faint from hunger at the same time, while he was still standing perfectly fine? Lin Shi, holding Hua, stood over 100 meters away from Wang Lun's group, behind a slope. He had observed and heard the conversation between Shirtu and the others with his spiritual power. Lin Shi's eyes were as cold as the snow covering the mountains. Initially, he had only planned to use his spiritual power to turn the 7 of them into idiots. Now he had changed his mind. Lin Shi turned to look at the clouded leopard and gave a quiet order. A moment later, the clouded leopard nodded, letting out a low growl. Wang Lun and the others couldn't find the reason for their unconsciousness. They couldn't just leave them lying in the snow, so they had to carry them. We'll figure it out when we get to the sanctuary. Shirtu also pretended to carry one of his subordinates. He cleverly chose the skinniest one to carry. Just as they were about to leave, a roar attracted everyone's attention. Everyone's expression changed as they looked towards the clouded leopard. At this moment, the clouded leopard stood over 100 meters away from the crowd, walking slowly, its posture fierce, advancing towards Wang Luan and Shitu. The clouded leopard, a Tier 3 origin beast, with its predator's presence, looked incredibly terrifying. Seeing the clouded leopard, Shitu was startled, fear showing in his eyes. They were all from Chuan province, forced to flee their homes by a beast tide. Seeing the clouded leopard, Shitu knew that such a massive origin beast was something they couldn't handle. But he didn't dare to run first. From his experience with origin beasts, powerful beasts like this often attacked those who fled first. "Officer, what do we do?" When Wang Luan saw the clouded leopard, his pupils also contracted. "Not good, it's a Tier 3 giant beast." Tier 1 and Tier 3 leopard-type origin beasts were vastly different in size. Wang Luan recognized the clouded leopard's rank at a glance. They had encountered countless dangers on their journey. The firearms in their team were out of ammunition. With their current weapons, they were no match for a Tier 3 origin beast. Wang Luan bit his lip and looked at the few Tier 2 evolvers in his team. "Chengzhu Yuan Zai. You three, with me, will hold the rear. The rest of you run. Scatter. Leave a rally point marker 10 kilometers to the east. If I don't see anyone by then, continue east tomorrow to the sanctuary." Wang Luan's words were fast and urgent, his tone leaving no room for argument. Captain! The soldiers' eyes turned red. They knew what it meant to face a Tier 3 origin beast. Wang Luan and those staying behind were in much more danger, their survival uncertain. Wang Luan and the other two were all the Tier 2 evolvers in the team. He ordered the retreat. The three of them had no complaints about being left behind, only determination and resolve. On the way, they had witnessed many comrades sacrifice themselves to save the majority. Now, it was their turn. Seeing the soldiers still hesitating, Wang Luan drew his weapon, his eyes firm. "There's no time. Go now." The harsh experiences had taught the soldiers that, at this moment, swift action was the right decision. The soldiers could only grit their teeth, tears welling in their eyes as they retreated. The moment the soldiers moved, Shitu also bolted. Without a moment's hesitation, he threw the subordinate he was carrying like a piece of trash, not even looking back as he fled down the mountain. He even activated his gene lock, running at maximum speed. In a flash, he had run over 1,000 meters. As he ran, Shitu heard shouts from behind, but just sneered and sped up. Only an idiot wouldn't run, he thought. As long as I run faster than everyone else, I'll be safe. As for those soldiers, their life or death had nothing to do with him. Once he reached the sanctuary, he could start a new life. Shitu secretly hoped they would all die here. But the further he ran, the stranger it felt. Even if the other soldiers were slow, there should be some noise from behind. But now, it was completely silent behind him, only the sound of his own feet crunching on the snow. An indescribable fear rose in his heart, making him unable to resist looking back. Just one look was enough to scare the soul out of him. That Tier 3 leopard had bypassed everyone and was chasing right behind him. And it was only 100 meters away. What the hell? 100 meters was just over a second for the clouded leopard. A second later, Shitu was pounced on by the clouded leopard and knocked to the ground. Wang Luan and the others witnessed the entire event in shock and silence. Everything happened too fast. Wang Luan had been prepared to sacrifice himself. Unexpectedly, when the clouded leopard charged towards them, it was as if it didn't see them, directly bypassing them. Wang Luan thought the clouded leopard was going to attack the soldiers and was about to shout a warning, but unexpectedly, the clouded leopard didn't even glance at the other soldiers and went straight for Shitu, the one who was running the fastest. This made some soldiers think the clouded leopard only attacked the fastest runner, or the one who was fleeing. So, someone kindly shouted for Shitu not to run. Seeing the clouded leopard had targeted Shitu, Wang Luan could only think, "I'm sorry." He quickly pointed at the soldier Shitu had thrown to the ground and ordered, "Carry this man and go." Quickly, Shitu had become the target, and the soldiers couldn't fight a Tier 3 beast. Wang Luan's decision at this moment was correct, sacrificing a few to save the many. That had been their ideal all along. Just like before, Wang Luan had also been prepared to sacrifice himself. Shitu, Despite being caught by the clouded leopard, still tried to find a way to escape. But his speed, in front of the clouded leopard, was nothing. The clouded leopard bit down hard on Shida's arm, sending him flying. Shirtu flew several dozen meters, got up, and tried to run again despite the pain. But before long, the clouded leopard caught up, knocking him to the ground. The clouded leopard was like a big cat playing with a mouse, repeatedly refusing to bite him to death. In fact, the clouded leopard was seriously carrying out Lin Shi's orders. Its master had told it to torture this guy to death. Treat him like a little fox. After torturing this one, it would deal with the other 6. Earlier, to hide their identities, Shirtu and his accomplices had used some kind of white powder to camouflage themselves. Therefore, it was very easy to distinguish them. Shirtu was both scared and horrified. He knew it was hard for him to escape. He had heard that felines often tortured their prey to death before eating them. Shirtu was terrified to his core. How could he not be afraid of death? Shirtu screamed towards Wang Luan and the others. "Help! Officers, save me!" Seeing the soldiers resolutely fleeing without stopping, a vicious look flashed in Shidu's eyes. "You want to kill me? Then don't expect to live in peace." After being knocked away by the clouded leopard again, Shirtu seized the opportunity, recklessly jumping down from a small cliff. Below was a narrow mountain path, which was also the escape route for Wang Luan's team. Because the mountain path was too narrow, Wang Luan thought the clouded leopard, with its large body and high intelligence as an advanced origin beast, would likely not risk chasing them. Therefore, he led most of his team down this path, while the rest scattered in other directions. But Wang Luan never expected Shirtu to jump down from a cliff more than 10 meters high. Fortunately, Shirtu didn't roll down the mountain but rushed forward, blocking the path of Wang Luan and the others. Shirtu endured the pain and got up, running towards Wang Luan. His face no longer had its simple, honest look, replaced by a savage ferocity. His eyes were full of venomous hatred. "You want to leave me to die alone, you treacherous bastards? Why didn't you save me? Didn't you say you would protect us? You promise-breaking scum deserve to die. Now you've chosen the path of death. That leopard is coming to kill me, so you'll die first." After speaking, Shirtu rushed down the mountain. Wang Luan's expression changed. He looked up and saw the clouded leopard above. After seeing Shirtu jump down, it turned and chased down the mountain. Now Shirtu was in front, and the clouded leopard was behind. Anyone could tell that the clouded leopard would definitely deal with them first. Wang Luan was so angry he could barely breathe. After all, he had been planning to cover the retreat for his soldiers and Shirtu. And yet, in a moment of crisis, Wang Luan had even let his soldiers carry Shirtu and his men, which slowed down the whole team. That farmer who had pretended to be so honest, now with a ferocious face, wanted to drag them all down with him. Wang Luan recalled what Lin Shi had said earlier and was secretly horrified. He was right. Shida's honest appearance was all an act. He decisively ordered his soldiers, "Leave these people behind. Speed up." "Yes, sir." The soldiers immediately abandoned Shida's companions. Very quickly, the clouded leopard caught up. The clouded leopard swiftly made its way onto the mountain path, which was only a little over a meter wide. The clouded leopard had to be extremely careful walking on it, or it could easily fall. With its intelligence, if not for Lin Shi's orders, it would definitely not have taken this mountain path, but would have waited at the foot of the mountain to ambush its prey. The clouded leopard lowered its head and stared at the 6 unconscious people in front of it, tilting its large head, wondering how to torture these immobile people. Just then, Lin Shi's voice came from above. "Leave these people here. You continue the chase. Bring that other one back to me." Hearing Lin Shi's command, the clouded leopard left the mountain path. It went down the mountain from another route. In just a moment, it had reached the foot of the mountain. At this time, Shirtu was desperately running down the mountain. Although his body was covered in injuries, in a life-threatening situation, a person can unleash great potential. Shirtu was not slow at all. He had even left Wang Luan, who was trying to protect the other soldiers, far behind. Shirtu turned his head to look back, baring his blood-stained yellow teeth, and laughed loudly. "You want me to block that beast so you can run? Dream on. You'll all die before me." Shirtu vented his anger as he ran, thinking that with so many people in Wang Luan's team, they could surely stop the clouded leopard's advance. Wang Luan also felt a sense of relief. He ran down the mountain, took a breath, and looked back. He could no longer see the clouded leopard or its companions. A feeling of exhilaration and joy at having escaped death filled his heart. I escaped. The clouded leopard was waiting at the foot of the mountain, observing the position where Wang Lun was coming down. It didn't have to search for long before it was attracted by Wang Luan's loud laughter. This time, the prey had delivered itself to its mouth. The clouded leopard silently came up behind Wang Lun. Wang Lun was basking in his joy, coupled with the fatigue and pain in his body after exerting all his strength. He wanted to stand and rest for a moment. Suddenly, he felt something behind him. 2 streams of hot air from the clouded leopard's nostrils blew onto Wang Luan's neck. Wang Luan's body stiffened. He turned his head and saw the clouded leopard standing behind him. Wang Luan's eyes widened in disbelief. Impossible. How could you get down the mountain before me? You. Shirtu wasn't stupid. He immediately figured it out. This beast took a shortcut. The clouded leopard found this guy very noisy. It opened its mouth and bit down on Wang Luan's shoulder, carrying him up the mountain. When Wang Luan's group came down the mountain, they only saw bright red bloodstains on the white snow, along with the messy footprints left by the clouded leopard. When the clouded leopard threw Shirtu down in front of Lin Shi, Shirtu was already on his last breath. On the way up, being shaken around in the clouded leopard's mouth, his body was mangled and covered in blood. Added to the injuries from the clouded leopard's earlier torture, he looked incredibly pathetic now. The cold from the snow and the ground brought Shirtu back to his senses a little. As his blurry vision gradually cleared, he saw a pair of legs. Looking up along the legs, Lin Shi's face came into view. It's you. A glimmer of hope flashed in Shida's eyes. At this moment, having just gone through a drastic change and being seriously injured, his mind was no longer clear. Thinking the clouded leopard was gone, he reached out to beg Lin Shi. Quick, save me. Lin Shi, holding Hua, looked down at this piece of trash without saying a word. Just then, a familiar voice caught Shida's attention. Boss! Shirtu heard his subordinates cry and struggled to turn his head. He saw the 6 subordinates he had abandoned, still alive. But at this moment, the subordinates were tied up in 2 groups of 3. All 6 of them were covered in injuries, looking no better than him. Moreover, the rope tying them was held firmly in Lin Shi's hand. At the same time, Shirtu saw the clouded leopard slowly walk to Lin Shi's side, lowering its head and rubbing against his leg. Anyone could see that the clouded leopard was extremely respectful and humble at this moment, a stark contrast to its ferocious appearance when it was chasing them earlier. Only then did Shirtu realize. It was you. With everything laid out before him, how could Shirtu not understand? The clouded leopard was Lin Shi's pet. It was Lin Shi who had sent the clouded leopard to chase and capture them. Shirtu was filled with rage, but his face showed extreme servility. Please spare my life, big brother. Spare me. I'm a Tier 2 evolver. As long as you spare my life, I'll do anything for you. Us too. Us too. Shidu's subordinates quickly chimed in. Lin Shi didn't kill them immediately, letting them see a glimmer of hope for survival. Perhaps Lin Shi was keeping them alive for some use. The truth was, just as they thought, Lin Shi was indeed keeping these 7 people alive to make use of them. It was just that his purpose was different from what Shirtu and his men thought. He planned to use the smell of fresh blood to attract origin beasts, carrying out one final use of this waste. Since he had acted, he couldn't return empty-handed. Lin Shi tied Shirtu and 3 of his subordinates together, then tied the rope tightly and gave it to the clouded leopard. Drag them up the mountain and run. The clouded leopard bit the rope tightly and ran like the wind. The 4 of them, including Shirtu, were pulled to the ground by the immense force, dragged along helplessly. The speed at which they were dragged was so fast that their existing wounds were scraped against the snow-covered ground, creating long, bloody trails. The most miserable one was the one lying face down, his entire face buried in the snow, dragged until it was deformed. At first, some of them cursed a few times, but soon no one could speak anymore. The smell of fresh blood quickly attracted origin beasts searching for food. Lin Shi began to reap today's harvest. Using this method twice, Lin Shi successfully hunted 8 Tier 2 origin beasts and 1 Tier 3 origin beast. As for Shirtu and his men, they had long since lost their human form, having stopped breathing long ago. Lin Sure collected the bodies into his space. It wasn't until dark that he rode the clouded leopard back to his safe base. The Demon King and the wolf pack had already returned. In the darkness, the wolves' eyes all glowed green. If an ordinary person were stared at by more than 10 pairs of such eyes, they would surely be scared to death. Lin Sure counted the wolf pack. 2 more tier 2 gray wolves. The pack had grown again. Where's the long-armed ape? Lin Sure suddenly remembered that he had sent the long-armed ape to dig for mutated plants today. The location wasn't far from the safe base. He had told it to return after it was done digging. Unexpectedly, the long-armed ape was still nowhere to be seen. Demon King, let's go take a look. Lin Sure put away the other origin beasts, turned, and rode the Demon King, heading towards the location where the long-armed ape had made its discovery today. Night enveloped the mountains and forests, so dark you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. During the day, this place was just a flat, snowy area. Now, it had turned into a deep, bottomless pit. When Lin Sure arrived, he didn't see the long-armed ape. Are you sure it's down there? Lin Sure asked. The Demon King sniffed the pit again and nodded in confirmation. Lin Sure walked to the edge of the pit and looked down. The pit was at least a dozen meters deep. The long-armed ape wasn't at the bottom. It must have dug straight down and then changed direction. He couldn't see the situation below from above. To be cautious, Lin Sure activated his gene lock and used his spiritual power to probe downwards. Below the dozen-meter-thick layer of snow was hard, frozen earth. The deeper he went, the greater the resistance, and the more spiritual power was consumed. After a while, Lin Sure had to retract his spiritual power. At that depth, he still hadn't found the long-armed ape. Continuing down would consume spiritual power exponentially. He would run out before he got much deeper. Lin Sure was extremely surprised. In just one day, the long-armed ape had dug so deep. He felt that the long-armed ape seemed to have awakened some incredible skill. He didn't understand how the long-armed ape could determine that there was a mutated plant at the bottom of such a deep pit. But the Demon King was very sure the long-armed ape was down there. Lin Sure thought for a moment and said to the Demon King, "You wait up here. Don't let anything get close. I'm going down to take a look." He had already scanned with his spiritual power and determined that the tunnel the long-armed ape had dug was very stable. Perhaps because the current soil density was very high, there was no risk of collapse in the short term. Lin Sure took out a sturdy rope from his space, tied one end to the Demon King, and said, "Be careful. If there's danger, bite through the rope. I'll find my own way up." In the darkness, the Demon King quietly nodded. Its eyes were filled with worry as it looked at Lin Sure. Lin Sure patted the Demon King and said gently, "Don't worry, I'll be careful." With that, he began to descend along the rope. At the bottom of the pit, a downward-sloping tunnel appeared. The long-armed ape must have changed direction after digging for a while. He had scanned with his spiritual power and found no danger within a few dozen meters underground. Lin Sure quickly continued down the tunnel. The tunnel was not smooth but rugged, clearly dug by the long-armed ape. Many places were blocked by excess earth and rocks. Fortunately, Lin Sure was smaller than the long-armed ape and could easily pass through. The deeper he went, the more Lin Sure felt both amused and angry. This digging speed, it's a real waste not to use it to build an underground shelter. Despite his grumbling, Lin Sure didn't slow down. Soon, he had descended over 100 meters. When Lin Sure reached that depth, a sharp cry came from the end of the tunnel. Squeak! The sound was ear-piercing and didn't sound far away. Lin Sure's expression changed slightly. There was an origin beast down there. At this moment, the long-armed ape was in a cave with a diameter of more than 10 meters. This cave was not dug by the long-armed ape, but was already there. Besides the passage the long-armed ape had dug, the cave had many small holes with diameters of less than a meter, leading to unknown places. At this moment in the cave, a group of mole rats, each with a head the size of a wash basin, was in a standoff with the long-armed ape. Behind the pack of mole rats was a mole rat king, much larger than the others. Clearly, the long-armed ape had dug into a mole rat nest. What had attracted the long-armed ape to dig so deep was a strange, yellowish-green plant in the cave. It emitted a golden glow in the darkness, as if someone had sprinkled a layer of gold dust on its surface. The plant was less than a meter tall, with many leaves. Notably, it had 3 fruit stalks. This was clearly a type of mutated plant capable of bearing fruit. Only 1 fruit stalk remained, with a spherical fruit, half green and half yellow. The long-armed ape beat its chest and approached the mutated plant. This action seemed to anger the mole rat king hiding behind the pack of mole rats. The mole rat king opened its mouth full of sharp teeth, and a sharp cry echoed in the cave. Squeak! The ear-piercing scream carried a wave of psychic shock. It attacked the long-armed ape. The long-armed ape immediately stopped, clutching its head and crying out in pain. At the same time, the 100 or so mole rats in the cave charged towards the long-armed ape in unison. In an instant, the long-armed ape was surrounded. Lin Shi discovered that the long-armed ape had encountered other origin beasts while digging. He scanned the area of a dozen meters around him with his spiritual power while speeding up his descent. At a depth of about 230 meters. Seeing the long-armed ape's situation through his spiritual power, Lin Shi decided to summon Manhwa from his storage space. At this moment, the long-armed ape was in danger. Over 100 mole rats with heads the size of wash basins were clinging to its body, frantically tearing at it. Lin Shi was horrified to see that all the mole rats were origin beasts, most of them tier 1. But this huge number was enough to form a beast tide. To think there was such a large pack of origin beasts underground. The mole rats' teeth were incredibly sharp. They bit and tore relentlessly, ripping open the long-armed ape's flesh. The long-armed ape was covered in bite marks. Smelling blood, the mole rats became even more excited, tearing more fiercely. The mole rats were agile. They took turns biting, and the long-armed ape's injuries quickly worsened. The long-armed ape desperately swatted away a few, crushing a few underfoot, but immediately a few more rushed in to bite the empty spots. The mole rats killed by the long-armed ape were immediately swarmed and eaten by the others. The scene was incredibly gruesome. If Lin Shi hadn't arrived, the long-armed ape might have been eaten alive by the mole rats. With a slight thought, Manhwa appeared in his arms. He ordered, "Launch a psychic shock in that direction." Manhwa reacted extremely quickly. As soon as Lin Shi finished speaking, the psychic shock was released. Manhwa's psychic shock was a wide-area attack, faster and more effective than Lin Shi's spiritual power weapon. Against so many tier 1 mole rats, although it couldn't keep them unconscious for long, it was enough to temporarily stop them from attacking the long-armed ape. Lin Shi quickly approached the long-armed ape's cave. Just then, an unexpected event occurred. As Manhwa's psychic shock attacked the pack of mole rats, another wave of psychic attack emerged from behind the pack, attacking Manhwa's psychic shock. In an instant, both psychic shocks dissipated. Manhwa's spiritual power attack had no effect. Lin Shi narrowed his eyes. That mole rat king was an origin beast capable of using spiritual power. When Lin Shi had scanned with his spiritual power, he had noticed the mole rat king, which was larger than the other mole rats. At first, he thought it was just an ordinary tier 3 origin beast. He never expected to find a tier 3 origin beast capable of using spiritual power here. Since the apocalypse began, Lin Shi had encountered many origin beasts. He knew that animals usually evolved in terms of physique, claws, fangs, and other external parts. Lin Shi had once discussed this with Li Xianke at the Research Institute. Li Xianke said that animals and humans evolved in very different directions. The biggest difference was that humans tended to evolve their spiritual power, i.e., their minds. Other animals evolved their spiritual power very slowly. They might not even gain the ability to use spiritual power even after reaching tier 5 or higher. Origin beasts like Manhwa were very special because Manhwa could use spiritual power attacks from tier 1. Could this mole rat king also be as special as Manhwa? There was no time to think more. The long-armed ape was about to collapse. Lin Shi decided to use his spiritual power to condense a sharp sword and stab towards the mole rat king. The mole rat king was hit and let out a sharp cry. "Huh," Lin Shi exclaimed. "Why isn't it stunned?" He condensed another spiritual power sword and attacked the mole rat king. This time, the mole rat king finally fell. The continuous spiritual power attacks made Lin Shi's temples throb slightly, but it didn't affect his actions. Without the mole rat king's interference, this time, without needing Lin Shi's command, Manhwa's eyes flashed with a golden light, and it attacked the pack of mole rats with its spiritual power again. This time, the attack achieved the effect Lin Shi wanted. Invisible ripples swept across the pack of mole rats. They fell from the long-armed ape's body like dumplings. Lin Shi seized the opportunity to return Hua to his space and quickly entered the cave. The long-armed ape was covered in injuries. Lin Shi intended to put it in his space to rest, but after recovering its strength, it ran towards the mutated plant in the cave. Lin Shi had seen this mutated plant with his spiritual power. Compared to the long-armed ape, this mutated plant was quite small. Lin Shi thought it would uproot the whole plant and eat it. Unexpectedly, the long-armed ape only carefully picked a leaf and put it in its mouth to chew, as if savoring a delicacy. Hey, don't eat it yet. We'll eat it slowly after we've dealt with the rats. Huahua's spiritual power attack was, after all, a wide-area attack. Attacking so many low-level rats, the effect wouldn't last long. The long-armed ape understood. Before being put into the space, it still looked at the mutated plant reluctantly. After putting the long-armed ape into his space, Lin Shi went to the mutated plant. Without a closer look, he used his large axe to cut the roots connecting it to the ground and then put it into the planting area in his space. Immediately after, he used his large axe to start clearing out the mole rats. Although he could use his spiritual power to put all the mole rats into his space, the risk was too great. The living storage space currently had no other origin beasts, only the small garden Lin Shi had planted before. Putting the mole rats in there would surely destroy the garden. Moreover, rats reproduce very quickly. Especially with abundant food, they would multiply rapidly, making them hard to control. If not handled well, it would become a double-edged sword. It was better to convert them into food. The pack of mole rats was gathered where the long-armed ape had been. To deal with these Tier 1 mole rats, Lin Shi didn't even need to use his origin power. He just had to swing his axe. It was as easy as cutting tofu. A few swings were all it took. He even had to control his strength to avoid collapsing the cave. In less than a minute, Lin Shi swung his axe up and down, and more than half of the several hundred mole rats had become a pile of fresh meat, collected by him into his vacuum space. The remaining ones woke up one after another. But without the Mole Rat King's command, they didn't know what to do, just wandering around the cave, looking for the Mole Rat King. Seeing they weren't running, Lin Shi continued to harvest their lives, until the last Mole Rat King woke up. Its long-incised rat eyes saw Lin Shi just kill the last mole rat. It screamed in fear. Squeak! Lin Shi didn't kill the Mole Rat King while it was unconscious because he wanted to see if he could tame it. His intuition told him that origin beasts with spiritual power talent were extremely rare. Encountering one was great luck. Encountering two was a blessing from his ancestors. Mole rats probably had no concept of racial honor. Seeing their kind slaughtered in front of them, they would surely fight him to the death. At this moment, Lin Shi stood in the middle of the cave filled with rat corpses, holding a blood-soaked large axe. The threat to the Mole Rat King was at its peak. Even though it was a Mole Rat King, it was still just a slightly larger mole rat. It stared wide-eyed at the scene. If the Mole Rat King could speak, it would probably scream, "My brethren are all dead." The Mole Rat King was startled and tried to flee the cave. The rat cave had more than a dozen exits, leading in all directions to unknown places. Running like this, it would surely not escape. But why did Lin Shi wait for the Mole Rat King to wake up? Could it be to let it escape? The sharp axe blade tore through the air and slammed down in the Mole Rat King's path, like a bronze wall and iron fortress descending from the sky, startling the Mole Rat King into a jump. Seeing the Mole Rat King trying to run, Lin Shi roared fiercely, "Run again, and I'll kill you." The Mole Rat King immediately fell silent. "Very good. Follow me. Obey me, and I won't kill you. I'll even feed you every day." The Mole Rat King didn't move. Lin Shi thought this rat was scared out of its wits. He was about to reach out and grab it when, a second later, the Mole Rat King lunged at his face. Lin Shi was startled and raised his hand to block. Who knew it was just a feint by the Mole Rat King? The Mole Rat King pretended to be blocked by Lin Shi, circled around him, and squeezed out of the large cave behind him. Lin Shi frowned. Cunning little bastard. Lin Shi used his spiritual power to collect all the remaining rat corpses in the cave, then chased after the Mole Rat King. During the chase, Lin Shi found that he couldn't catch up to this cunning rat. Compared to Lin Shi, the rat was clearly better at running in caves. On the ground, Lin Shi was faster than the Mole Rat King, but in the cave, he was still a step slower. Lin Shi wasn't in a hurry either. The long-armed ape had only dug one tunnel. Therefore, the path the Mole Rat King was running on now led straight to where the Demon King was outside. A moment later, it finally reached the exit. Smelling the fresh, cold air outside, the Mole Rat King thought it had escaped death. It squeaked with joy, but what awaited it was the Demon King blocking its way. Something big. Just as Lin Shi rushed out of the pit, the Demon King was playfully batting the small mole rat with its paw. Compared to the Demon King's body, the shrunken Mole Rat King looked like a small baseball under its giant paw. There was a natural hierarchy of suppression between origin beasts. Caught by the Demon King, the Mole Rat King didn't run but obediently curled into a ball, letting the Demon King roll it back and forth under its feet. Seeing Lin Shi emerge, the Demon King quickly rolled the Mole Rat King in front of him, as if seeking credit. Woof! Good job. Lin Shi patted the Demon King's neck in praise, then turned to the round mole rat on the ground. Obey my command, or I'll let my companion eat you. The Demon King cooperated by baring its teeth and letting out a threatening growl. The Mole Rat King didn't pretend anymore. It stood up straight, very human-like, clasped its paws in front of its chest, and bowed to Lin Shi. Its long-incised rat eyes showed a plea for mercy. This little thing actually understands human language. Lin Shi was secretly surprised. A mole rat origin beast this intelligent was truly a treasure. He put the mole rat into his space, letting the other origin beasts know there was a new member. Then Lin Shi and the Demon King returned to the safe house. Back in his room, Lin Shi's stomach rumbled. He had only eaten a little dried meat for lunch, then encountered Wang Lun and Shi too, and was busy for the rest of the day. He had just gotten home and still hadn't eaten dinner. The Demon King and the others had already eaten their fill outside. Lin Shi prepared milk for the giant panda, gave Hua some minced rat meat. The long-armed ape was quite seriously injured. Lin Shi treated its wounds, fed it a few gene pills, and then let it and the clouded leopard eat the freshly hunted rat meat. The newly arrived Mole Rat King shivered in a corner of the space. Its rat eyes were full of fear. If it could speak, it would probably say, "Oh, my little rat self, am I going to be eaten too?" For some reason, Hua brought the minced rat meat Lin Shi had given it, placed it in front of the Mole Rat King, and started eating. As it ate, its eyes kept staring at the Mole Rat King. When the Mole Rat King ran, Hua would chase it. The cat and mouse chase went on endlessly. Lin Shi was both amused and helpless. Cats and rats were natural enemies, but this cat and this rat were both unusually intelligent. It should be fine to keep them together. Well, Lin Shi rubbed his nose. Time for my own dinner. He roasted 10 mole rats. Mole rat meat was a rare delicacy. After becoming origin beasts, they were even more delicious. Lin Shi ate 2 of them, each about 5 catties. The rest he rewarded to the Demon King, the long-armed ape, and the clouded leopard for helping him put on a show today. After eating so much meat, he was getting tired of it. Lin Shi took out some freshly grown lettuce from his space, wrapped the roasted rat meat with sauce, and took a bite. The delicious flavor burst in his mouth. The fresh crispness of the lettuce and the rich flavor of the rat meat blended perfectly on his tongue. This was a pleasure only Lin Shi could enjoy in this apocalypse. He then drank a glass of cold, fresh fruit juice. It was so refreshing. After eating his fill, Lin Shi lay on the sofa to relax, his consciousness connected to his space, checking on the condition of his origin beasts. Lin Shi remembered the mutated plant fruit he had stored in his space and immediately sat up from the sofa. With a thought, the yellowish-green plant was taken out from his space and placed in the middle of the living room. This plant was very eye-catching, almost glowing. But the most attractive thing was still the fruit it bore, half green, half yellow. Strange. This was even more special than the fruit the Demon King had led him to find in the water curtain cave before. He didn't know if it was an illusion, but the yellow part of this fruit seemed to be larger than when he last saw it in the cave. This fruit isn't ripe yet. Lin Shi came to a conclusion. From the original 3-branched fruit stalk, it could be seen that this plant was supposed to bear 3 fruits. As for where the other 2 fruits went, Lin Shi could guess. They were probably eaten by the mole rats. The reason this one was still here was obvious. It probably wasn't ripe yet. Actually, to know if this fruit was edible, he just had to ask. Linsher thought of the mole rat king in his space. With a thought, he took it out and held it in his hand. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you understand, nod. The mole rat king was very surprised to be moved to another space. Its nimble eyes darted around. Hearing Linsher's question, it quickly nodded. Have you never lived in human society? Linsher looked at it suspiciously. Intelligent pets that lived with humans for a long time would understand some human words. A wild animal, no matter how smart, would find it hard to understand human language because they had never learned it. But this rat knew how to bow and scrape, which was clearly not something it learned on its own. After Linsher spoke, the mole rat king nodded again. Linsher almost laughed out loud. So there are even domesticated mole rats. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Hearing this, the mole rat king looked displeased, struggling in Linsher's hand. Don't move, Linsher shouted. The mole rat king immediately became obedient. Confirming that the mole rat king understood his words, Linsher got to the point. Let me ask you, did you eat the fruit on this plant? The mole rat king nodded again. Did you eat both fruits? It nodded again. This fruit isn't ripe yet, is it? Still nodding. Are you stupid? It nodded. Then it shook its head repeatedly. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The mole rat king seemed a little angry. Linsher burst out laughing. I thought you only knew how to nod. The smile on his face disappeared. Did you become so smart because you ate those two fruits? After asking, Linsher felt the mole rat king in his hand stiffen. Finally, it still nodded. It was just a bold guess by Linsher, but he didn't expect it to be true. The fruit could actually enhance intelligence. Linsher stared in shock at the mutated plant in the living room. With its strange color and ordinary shape, under the light, the originally yellowish-green plant now glowed with a mysterious golden-green light. At this moment, Linsher thought to himself, if this mutated plant can be cultivated, then won't there be a continuous supply of this fruit in the future? Squeak, squeak, squeak. The mole rat king's squeaking interrupted Linsher's thoughts. Looking at this unusually intelligent mole rat, Linsher suddenly asked, Did you get your spiritual power from eating this fruit? The mole rat king tilted its head, seemingly not understanding the question. Linsher thought for a moment. Spiritual power was probably too foreign a word for a mole rat. He condensed a thread of spiritual power into a whip and lashed the mole rat king. The mole rat king immediately felt it and struggled in fear. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Don't move. This is spiritual power. Your psychic shock is also launched using spiritual power. Did you get this ability from eating this fruit? The mole rat king stopped struggling after hearing this. It placed a front paw on its face, a thoughtful expression on its face. It nodded sometimes and shook its head at other times. Its round eyes showed a look of confusion, as if it wasn't sure about the question itself. Seeing it still couldn't figure it out, Linsher stopped asking. Anyway, once the fruit ripened, he would know its effects. He patted the rat's head. Since the mole rat king had behaved well, he took out a gene pill and gave it to it. Be good and listen to me. I have plenty of these. I won't treat you badly. The mole rat king's eyes lit up, and it immediately swallowed the gene pill. Its round eyes were just short of writing the words Rich Daddy on them. From now on, I'll call you bye-bye. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Intelligent origin beasts were always easier to communicate with. Linsher put bye-bye back into his space. Then his eyes sparkled as he looked at the mutated plant in the living room. To be precise, at the only fruit on that mutated plant. If his guess was correct, this was a fruit that could enhance intelligence and spiritual power. Bye-bye probably gained its spiritual power talent after eating those two fruits, and thus became the mole rat king. Thinking of this, Linsher was very happy. Next, he just had to wait for the fruit to ripen and see if his guess was correct. The space couldn't store organic matter, so Linsher didn't put this plant back into the space. Instead, he moved it to an empty spot in the basement. Linsher was lucky that when he collected this mutated plant, to quickly put it into his space, he had cut a large chunk of soil around it. Fearing he would damage the roots, the area of soil he took was quite large. Now, with this soil, it saved Linsher a lot of effort. He just needed to find a few wooden planks to fix the soil around it, making a large flower pot. Linsher took out a wooden plank from his storage space, along with a hammer and saw, and got to work. In less than half an hour, a square wooden flower pot was completed. Looking at his masterpiece, he nodded in satisfaction. Since unlocking his genes, he felt his hands-on ability had increased significantly. Admiring his work, Lin Sure suddenly had an idea. With a flash in his hand, a dozen gene pills appeared. If it's a mutated plant, it should be able to absorb origin power, right? He had once asked Lishenka. These gene pills were extracted from origin beasts, or from the air containing origin matter or other objects, then formed into pills using a harmless, edible adhesive. This adhesive was harmless to living things. Therefore, even if this mutated plant couldn't absorb the origin power inside, it wouldn't be adversely affected. Lin Sure evenly placed the gene pills on the root system of the mutated plant. He didn't know if this counted as promoting growth on another level. After placing the gene pills, Lin Sure dusted off his hands, wiped the wood shavings off the flower pot, and turned to leave the basement. Just as Lin Sure left, in the darkness, the mutated plant, which was emitting a faint light, suddenly seemed to be charged. The light on it increased rapidly, easily noticeable to the naked eye. If Lin Sure were still here, he would see the mutated plant rapidly absorbing the origin power from the gene pills he had casually placed. And on the flower pot, a small green part of the fruit quietly turned yellow. Back in his room, Lin Sure took a hot shower, changed into clean pajamas, and began to train his spiritual power. A night passed quickly. His spiritual power increased from 814 to 818 points. Lin Sure rested until his spiritual power was full before getting out of bed, eating breakfast, and preparing breakfast for his origin beasts. Breakfast was still the freshly hunted mole rat meat from yesterday. Bye-bye, Lin Sure's mole rat was given a wild boar leg, not its own kind. Lin Sure would never let his origin beasts eat their own kind. Seeing its kind being eaten, Bye-bye hid in a corner, fiercely tearing at the wild boar leg. My poor rat brethren, the master is too cruel. After breakfast, Lin Sure, along with the Demon King and the other beasts, went up the mountain to hunt. Hunting and killing origin beasts was the fastest way to strengthen his origin beast army. After yesterday's half-day failure, Lin Sure had found a new way to lure beasts. He took the unused corpses from yesterday, had the clouded leopard drag them, and used the smell of fresh blood to lure origin beasts. The origin power in the corpses had already been extracted by Lin Sure, leaving only shells that were no more than tools. When these corpses were used up, he had many more in his space, enough to last for a long time. For a long time after that, Lin Sure used this method to hunt in the mountains. At night, Lin Sure would check on the mutated plant. Seeing the origin power in the gene pills was depleted, and the fruit was a little more ripe than the day before, he would take out a few dozen more and place them on it. Then he would return to the surface and enjoy a delicious dinner. While Lin Sure was enjoying his life and hunting in his small house, the sanctuary welcomed its busiest period since its establishment. First, Wu Shengli and the others found the location of the sanctuary. 13 people, 10 of whom were evolvers. This powerful team was immediately integrated into the evolver team by Lin Tianrui. The next day, Wang Luan and the others arrived at the sanctuary and were also accepted, joining Lin Tianrui's army. After that, a continuous stream of survivors and refugee soldiers from Chuan province arrived in Sha City. A small number of survivors from other regions, after hearing about the current scale of the Sha City shelter, took the initiative to come here. The apocalypse is extremely dangerous right now, and most people understand the power of unity. The more people there are, the stronger the defense against the beast tide. In just over a month, the shelter's population grew from 30,000 to nearly 40,000. However, some chaos also ensued. For example, not all evolvers wanted to join the official evolver squads. Those who traveled from afar to reach Sha City were all members of survivor teams formed along the way to fight origin beasts. The number of members in each team varied. Surviving through countless hardships and dangers on the road stimulated the potential of many team members, unlocking their gene locks. As for the teams or individuals who failed to unlock their genes, most perished along the way. Upon arriving in Sha City, the majority of evolvers in these teams were used to a life of freedom or had other considerations. They didn't want to join the military and accept strict military management. Therefore, Lin Tianrui and the others introduced a new policy to accommodate the newly joined evolvers in the shelter. Evolvers could choose not to join the military and be exempt from military management, but they were required to register their information with the military. The shelter would provide accommodation for independent evolvers, and as part of its duty, protect the safety of their families. However, these individuals would be mandatorily drafted to fight alongside other evolver squads when the shelter faced a beast tide or an attack. The goal was to protect the entire shelter. Independent evolvers would not enjoy other shelter benefits besides accommodation, which meant no free food or monthly gene pills. They also had to strictly abide by the shelter's rules. Fighting and killing within the shelter were strictly prohibited. Minor violations would result in expulsion, while severe violations would lead to on-the-spot execution. In serious cases, like desertion, they would be hunted down by the shelter, and other shelters would be notified to permanently blacklist them. Independent evolvers were free to form their own hunting squads to hunt origin beasts. The origin beasts or weapons they obtained could be exchanged for contribution points. Daily necessities or food had to be purchased using contribution points at the shelter's designated exchange rates. Therefore, the shelter established a new exchange list for evolvers. This list detailed the number of contribution points that could be exchanged for different levels of origin beasts. There were also rules for exchanging contribution points for raw materials, gene pills, and origin weapons. After gaining power, many evolvers became arrogant and refused to be restrained by others. Allowing them to freely form evolver squads gave many a sense of freedom to act independently and hunt for contribution points on their own terms. Human laziness, even in the apocalypse, remained unchanged. As soon as the new policy was announced, the vast majority of evolvers registered as independent evolvers. Even some Tier 1 evolvers who had already joined the military wanted to switch to being independent. Lin Tianrui and the others had already anticipated this situation. All requests to switch to independent evolver status were approved, but those who left were all low-tier evolvers with no hope of leveling up. In the military, the higher an evolver's rank, the better the treatment. There was a massive number of Tier 1 evolvers, but their combat power was very low. Compared to the large amount of supplies and gene pills that had to be paid out monthly, the contribution of Tier 1 evolvers was extremely limited. They could only fight for a few seconds before needing a gene pill to counteract the side effects. How could their combat power be high? With the popularization of resonance, low-tier evolvers would only increase in number. Keeping these people around was becoming increasingly meaningless. A few days after Linsher left, the resonance training method, which helped ordinary people unlock their genes, was officially and widely implemented among the survivors. The recruitment of evolvers and soldiers also became much stricter from then on. Initially, any Tier 1 evolver was accepted. Now, only Tier 2 evolvers and above were selected. Tier 1 evolvers, unless they had outstanding talent or special abilities, were not invited to join the squads. Many ordinary people, under harsh conditions, had accidentally absorbed a small amount of origin power, combined with the resonance training method. Very quickly, a large number of survivors unlocked their genes one after another. Then, in a short period, over a third of the survivors had unlocked their genes. Right at this moment, the government announced a new welfare policy for evolvers. Every month, evolvers who joined the official squads would receive 4 gene pills. One gene pill was worth 1,000 contribution points. Those independent evolvers watched with greedy eyes. They all regretted it bitterly. But by now, it was too late for them to join. Aside from young children and the elderly over 60, most ordinary people, if they used resonance, could unlock their Tier 1 genes under the current circumstances. This was completely different from Linsher's previous life in the apocalypse. As for reaching Tier 2 or above, it required a certain amount of talent and mental power. Some Tier 1 evolvers who had just left the official squads regretted it so much their guts twisted into knots. Some wanted to return, but now, ordinary Tier 1 evolvers could only join the militia, receiving the treatment of regular soldiers. These people could only dream of returning to the military. Little did they know, in the near future, even the qualifications to be a regular soldier in the military would be gone. After the shelter implemented this series of policies, the independent evolvers, for the sake of survival, formed their own squads to hunt origin beasts. This drastically reduced the patrol workload of the regular army. As the number of survivors continued to grow, the shelter became overcrowded, so the construction of additional shelters began. Next, Lin Tianrui and the others planned to transform the entire Dong estate into a brand new, official base. Everything was proceeding in an orderly manner. However, this peaceful prosperity changed its tone after Lu Chaotian, the military commander of Chuan province, arrived. Lin Shi knew nothing about all of this. Lately, he had been busy going deep into the mountains during the day to hunt and improve the strength of his origin beast legion, and cultivating his mental power at night. For a whole month, he hadn't seen a single person. Today, upon returning from a hunt and checking if the mutated plant had borne fruit, Lin Shi discovered that the plant he had been eagerly waiting for all month, nourishing it with gene pills every day, had finally fruited. Not only that, besides the leaves on the branches, a tiny new shoot had also sprouted. Lin Shi carefully plucked the round fruit, which had now turned completely golden. It was only the size of a mangosteen. Holding it in his hand, from a distance, it looked like a piece of solid gold. Looking closely, the golden luster on the fruit was completely different from a glossy, plump surface. Staring at it for a few seconds, it felt as if it wanted to suck a person right into it. As soon as he touched the fruit, Lin Shi knew it didn't just simply enhance intelligence or mental power, but also increased origin power. The treasure bowl chimed in right on time. The treasure bowl interface popped up, reminding Lin Shi that the fruit in his hand contained origin power, and asked if he wanted to absorb it. Speeding up its growth had cost Lin Shi nearly 500 gene pills. If the fruit didn't contain a lot of origin power, he would be heartbroken. Holding it in his hand, Lin Shi could already feel the origin power surging inside. He thought to himself, if he hadn't used so many gene pills, how long would this fruit have taken to ripen? He had purposely asked Gigi before, but Gigi didn't know either. Gigi had gestured wildly to Lin Shi, explaining that when it found this mutated plant, there were already 2 ripe fruits, and it had unceremoniously eaten both of them. Thanks to that, it solidified its position as the rat king among the rat pack. I have to say, what a lucky little guy. Lin Shi brought the fruit to his mouth, hesitated for only a moment, and then decided to pop it in. Having evolved to Tier 4, his physique was enhanced, and his internal organs' ability to break down toxins had also significantly improved. It could be said that unless it was a highly lethal, instant-kill poison, there wouldn't be any major issues. Moreover, the fruit wasn't harmful to origin beasts, so it probably wasn't poisonous to humans either. The fruit wasn't sweet, nor did it have seeds. Once he bit through the skin, the flesh inside crushed and flowed into his mouth like jelly. Before Lin Shi could even taste anything, the fruit's flesh turned into liquid and slid down his throat. Lin Shi threw the skin into his mouth as well and swallowed it. Only a strange, lingering fragrance remained in his mouth, proving that Lin Shi had indeed tasted it. Lin Shi blinked a few times. Honestly, he hadn't tasted any flavor at all. But very quickly, he forgot all about the taste. A sudden rush of hot liquid spread from his stomach throughout his body. A strange sensation washed over him, somewhat similar to when he had absorbed a massive amount of origin power before. The difference was, this heat rushed mostly to his head. It was as if he suddenly heard a roar in his mind, and a stream of hot water shot straight to the top of his skull. Lin Shi suddenly felt as if he had just chugged a whole bottle of strong liquor. In an instant, he was like a drunkard, unable to stand steady. Before passing out, Lin Shi used his mind to summon a sofa from his spatial dimension and staggered onto it. The ceiling spun dizzily before his eyes. The next second, he plunged into darkness. When he woke up again, Lin Shi felt like he was soaking in a comfortably warm stream of water. His consciousness was very sluggish, almost unable to think. He only felt like he was in a half-awake, half-asleep state. The voices of a man and a woman frequently echoed in his ears. They were clearly very close, yet seemed so far away. He could never quite make out what they were saying. He didn't know how long had passed, so long that Lin Shi almost forgot who he was, when he suddenly felt some sort of force pushing him. The sounds in his ears also became more chaotic. Even though he was soaking in warm water, Lin Shi still felt a shaking sensation. He didn't know how much time went by before his surroundings fell silent again. This time, it was a dead silence. Lin Shi felt a hand pull him out of the comfortably warm water. The sudden shift to a freezing cold environment made him a bit uncomfortable. There was light before his eyes, but he couldn't see anything clearly. He wanted to stand up, but couldn't control his limbs. When he tried to shout, all that came out was a sharp, piercing wah 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 cry. Only then did Lin Shi realize he had turned into a baby. A figure appeared before him, but Lin Shi couldn't make out their face. This person picked Lin Shi up, wrapped him in something, and stood up. Lin Shi vaguely saw the person open and close their mouth. He strained to listen, but couldn't clearly hear the man's voice. This time, Lin Shi heard clearly what the man said. He said, "Yin, our baby is a boy." A boom echoed in his ears, but Lin Shi wasn't afraid. He was engulfed by an even greater terror. Baby? What's happening to me? Did I eat that golden fruit? Have I been reborn? Did I transmigrate? Or am I dreaming? The most likely answer was that he was dreaming. But what kind of dream could be this realistic? The dense sound of falling rain felt like it was right next to him. Lin Shi noticed something unusual. There was no strong smell of hospital disinfectant in his nose, nor did he hear the voices of doctors. There was only a very familiar scent that Lin Shi couldn't quite place at the moment. Normally, don't women give birth in a hospital? The man was clearly talking to someone, but no one around answered. Occasionally, Lin Shi would hear a pleasant female voice he had never heard before. He was a newborn baby. If he had just been born, then where was his mother? Lin Shi tried to turn his head to look around, but he couldn't see anything. He only saw blurry shadows. Next, Lin Shi heard the man sobbing, suppressing his grief, accompanied by the sound of the rain. This time, Lin Shi realized he seemed to be inside a tin shed. The sound of rain hitting the metal roof was completely different from when it hit other surfaces. And that very familiar scent. Lin Shi finally recognized it. It was the smell of blood. They're here. We need to go, quickly. They're catching up. The man only cried for a moment before calming down. What about the madam? This voice sounded somewhat familiar to Lin Shi. Yin. The man fell silent for a moment. His voice was indescribably sorrowful as he choked out. Yin only wanted to see the baby survive. I can't let her die in vain. The last word was practically roared from the depths of the man's throat. Lin Shi felt a powerful wave of sleepiness wash over him. After that, he couldn't hear anything clearly. His consciousness sank into darkness once more. When he woke up, Lin Shi felt a sharp pain above his eyebrow. Then, a warm drop of liquid trickled down from it. "Young master, what are you doing?" A shocked, terrified voice rang out. Lin Shi woke up, still only seeing light, unable to make out anything else. The man's voice echoed in his ears again. "He doesn't have a birthmark on him. I want to give him a mark. That way, if I ever see him again in the future, I'll recognize him immediately." A zhong said with a trembling voice. "Young master, have you really decided to do this?" The deep male voice, filled with indescribable sorrow, replied, "I've made up my mind. Keeping him by my side is too dangerous. We grew up together since we were kids. I've never seen you as a subordinate, but rather as my own blood brother. From now on, you are Ashur's father. I'm entrusting him to you. You must give him a happy, joyful life. Even if he lives an ordinary life, that's fine." "Young master, how can I do that? The little young master has already lost his mother. He can't lose his father too," a zhong choked out. "Then find somewhere to alter your appearance, change your name, and get married. Start a family. Find a good woman, and let her treat Ashur as her own son. Never come looking for me, and never reveal your identity. Take this with you as well. Wait until Ashur is grown up before giving it to him." The man seemed to hand a zhong an object. "Young master, such an important item, aren't you taking it with you?" "No, I probably wouldn't be able to take it anyway. They're almost here." At this moment, Lin Shi felt a sharp prick on his arm, which quickly disappeared. "Young master, don't worry. I came prepared. This medicine will help him sleep soundly, just in case he cries and exposes us. I'm leaving Ashur to you. If we never meet again, never let him know the truth." Lin Shi's consciousness sank into darkness once more. After that, Lin Shi never heard that man's voice again. Lin Shi realized that the man must be his biological father, whom he had never met. A few months later, Lin Shi finally saw the face of the man named Zhong clearly. It was the man who had raised him since childhood, Lin Mingjin. At this time, Lin Mingjin's face was slightly different from his memories. Over the following year, Lin Shi watched Lin Mingjin's face gradually become the one he remembered. He also finally confirmed that he hadn't transmigrated. Instead, after eating that miraculous fruit, he had fallen into a dream woven from his memories, from childhood to adulthood, because he couldn't change anything that had happened here. For example, now that he could walk, he wanted to leave this room, but found he couldn't step outside. A transparent wall blocked him. Lin Shi guessed that perhaps deep in his memories, when he was a child, he had never left this room and had no memories of the outside world, so he couldn't leave the room, nor could he wake up. After discovering this, Lin Shi could only go with the flow and re-experience his life from childhood to adulthood. Only this time, he was an observer. Just like that, Lin Shi experienced his life all over again. When Lin Shi was over 2 years old, Lin Mingjin brought back a woman. It was Lu Siyue. Lin Shi watched Lu Siyue do everything she could to pamper him, just like in his previous life. Lin Shi had forgotten all his memories from before he was 2. This was also why he had never doubted that Lu Siyue was his biological mother. Until right before Lin Mingjin passed away, Lin Shi noticed that Lin Mingjin suddenly started working overtime every day. Meanwhile, Lu Siyue frequently told him she had things to do and had to go out. Every time, Lu Siyue would return before Lin Mingjin got home. At the same time, Lin Shi noticed Lu Siyue often smiling secretly at her phone screen. Until Lin Mingjin met with his accident. Lin Shi, like an audience member, witnessed his life again and discovered many details he had never noticed before. Later, Lin Mingjin's colleague came to the house and told him the truth. He told Lu Siyue about this. You're still young. Right now, your studies are what's important. I'll look into this matter. But I think this is probably just a fabricated rumor. If it were true, they would have called the police already. Lu Siyue said exactly what Lin Shi remembered. Lin Shi's heart didn't waver at all. He just looked at Lu Siyue. Lu Siyue's eyes were still as complex as they were back then. At night, Lin Shi heard Lu Siyue making a phone call in her room. He suddenly remembered something and gently opened a crack in the door. He stood there eavesdropping. Lu Siyue was talking to the person on the phone, her voice sounding quite agitated. You've already dealt with that worker. Why do you still want to deal with Lin Shi? He's still young and naive. He doesn't understand anything. He won't pose a threat to you. I guarantee you, from now on, just pretend this son doesn't exist. Let him go. Lin Shi was stunned. He still didn't understand. Since Shen Fanren knew that he knew the truth about Lin Mingjin's death, why didn't he just get rid of him too? With Shen Fanren's methods, it would have been as easy as flipping his hand. He never expected this dream to reveal a truth he had never known before. Lu Siyue had actually pleaded for him. This woman had once taken pity on him. Lin Shi's eyes widened as he quietly left the door. Not long after he eavesdropped, Lu Siyue married Shen Fanren, just like in Lin Shi's memory. Later, when Lin Shi entered college, the solar flare erupted and the apocalypse began. Lin Shi dreamed again of being betrayed by Zhao Xiao and dreamed again of almost killing Shin Jinbin. At the very last moment, Lin Shi didn't pick up the gun again. Instead, he turned his head to see who was pointing the gun at him. And this time, Lin Shi finally saw clearly the person aiming the gun at him back then. In the darkness, Lin Shi suddenly opened his eyes. For a long time, he couldn't figure out where he was, until he sat up straight and saw the fluorescent glow of the mutated plant in the dark right in front of him. Instantly, he remembered that he had eaten that mutated plant and had fallen into a dream spanning from his childhood to the present. Lin Shi took a deep breath. This dream was too realistic, too long. Lin Shi felt as if he had lived his life all over again. The dream ended. The person who fired the shot that killed him was none other than Lu Siyue. This woman had once saved his life out of a moment of pity, but she had also ended his life in his previous incarnation. Because of this, Lin Shi felt somewhat relieved. This way, he no longer owed Lu Siyue anything. Lin Shi raised his head and stared intently at the mutated plant. A strange sensation made him cry out involuntarily. In the darkness, the mutated plant looked as clear to his eyes as if it were broad daylight. Lin Shi had been able to see in the dark before, but now, his night vision was even clearer than before. Lin Shi focused his senses and realized his mind had never been this clear. Even without activating his gene lock, He could recall every detail of his life from childhood to adulthood without missing a single second. Even the memories from when he was a baby up until he was 3 years old all surfaced in his mind. Lin Shi immediately opened his Treasure Bowl personal interface. The numbers that appeared before his eyes made them light up. Player data, Lin Shi, 20 years old, male. Evolution level, Tier 4 gene lock. Internal origin power, 4,568 units. Mental power, 1,018 units. Telekinesis. System notification. The player's mental power has met the evolution requirements. 1,000 units of telekinesis. Notification. 10,000 units of origin power are required to level up. Currently lacking 5,432 units. Lin Shi was startled. His mental power had met the standard. It had increased by 200 points of mental power all at once. In addition, Lin Shi's origin power had also increased by 1,000 points. Although absorbing origin power from 500 gene pills was less efficient than absorbing it directly, the increase in mental power was the most valuable thing. Previously, he hadn't directly used the gene pills in his spatial dimension to fully absorb origin power because when his mental power wasn't sufficient to unlock the Tier 5 gene lock, saturated origin power wouldn't continue to grow. That meant any subsequent active or passive absorption of origin power would be wasted. Now that his mental power had met the evolution standard, he could directly absorb the full 10,000 units of origin power all at once. One gene pill contained 3 units of origin power. Lin Shi needed to absorb 1,811 gene pills to have enough origin power to evolve to Tier 5. Currently, his spatial dimension held over 2,500 gene pills, which was more than enough. Even if he used up all these gene pills, he would still be short 9,000 pills. But in less than 2 months, Lin Shi could go collect more. Recalling his previous 2 highest tier gene lock awakenings, Lin Shi prepared food for the little monsters in his spatial dimension before he started absorbing. He placed a few dozen gene pills into the pot of that miraculous mutated flower, then returned to the surface. While preparing food for himself, he used his mind to connect with his spatial dimension. Through Manhwa, he learned that he had only been unconscious for a short while after eating the fruit, roughly the length of a nap. Lin Shi glanced at his watch and confirmed he had slept for over 8 hours, equivalent to a full night's sleep for an ordinary person. But to him, that long dream felt like an entire lifetime had passed. After preparing enough high-energy food for himself, Lin Shi prepared enough food for Manhwa and the other creatures in the spatial dimension to last for 7 days. Manhwa would be responsible for distributing it daily. Once everything was done and he had eaten some snacks, Lin Shi sprawled out on the sofa out of habit. With a slight shift of his thoughts, he took out the gene pills. To prevent any issues from absorbing too much origin power at once, Lin Shi divided the gene pills into several batches and began absorbing them. As his finger touched a gene pill, an absorption prompt immediately popped up on the treasure bowl. Lin Shi said without hesitation, "Agree to absorb." As soon as he spoke, origin power surged into his arm. Lin Shi watched the origin power stats on his personal interface continuously rise. 5,342, 6,526, 7,538. The number kept climbing, and his body gradually heated up. The fluctuations of origin power radiating from Lin Shi grew stronger and stronger. If someone else used an origin energy detector and saw Lin Shi's origin power growing this fast, their jaw would drop in shock. An ordinary person couldn't possibly absorb 1 or 2,000 gene pills all at once. First of all, the body couldn't absorb that much in such a short time. Regarding gene pills, Lin Tianrui had previously said that an ordinary person should only consume a maximum of 1 pill a day. Only those with a higher tier or better physique could absorb more. The process of absorbing origin power caused wear and tear. The amount of origin power absorbed depended on each person's physique, or more accurately, their origin power talent grade. As Qin Shuang had once explained to Lin Shi, ordinary people didn't have that many gene pills to consume. Even Lin Tianrui, as the leader, only stockpiled a few hundred pills. A few hundred gene pills was equivalent to millions of contribution points, a massive fortune. But those 2 problems didn't exist for Lin Shi. The treasure bowl acted like an origin power converter, able to extract the purest origin power and injected into his body. Lin Shi absorbed it very easily, without any burden. Moreover, Lin Shi never lacked gene pills. Even if he used them all up, he could still duplicate materials and exchange them with Lin Tianrui. It was just that the Research Institute's production of gene pills wasn't fast enough. Otherwise, Lin Shi would gladly stockpile tens of thousands of pills. 8,686. When the amount of origin power reached the 10,000 threshold, Lin Shi felt the origin power in his body ignite like a fire, instantly boiling over. But this time, he didn't pass out. Lin Shi thought, why isn't this gene lock following the rules? He had no time to ponder such trivial matters. Unlocking the Tier 5 gene lock this time, while conscious, brought the same agonizing pain as the first time he unlocked his genes. Origin power was being absorbed into every cell, even the DNA strands in Lin Shi's body. The DNA strands changed rapidly. Breaking, restructuring. Breaking, restructuring. A portion of the origin power successfully replaced the molecules on the DNA strands. If someone took a sample of Lin Shi's genes right now, they would see that his DNA strands had completely transcended the scope of a normal human, heading toward an unknown realm. Lin Shi only felt his entire body aching, as if he were being tortured. He clenched his fists, his face showing endurance. Blue veins bulged on his forehead from the pain, and bead-sized drops of sweat continuously poured down his forehead. And then dripped down. How long did this transformation last? Lin Shi only felt that time was crawling by like years. His teeth bled from biting down too hard, but the changes in his body still hadn't ended. The pain was so intense his consciousness blurred. Lin Shi suddenly remembered using gene pills to withstand the pain when unlocking his Tier 1 gene lock, wondering if it would work in this situation. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Lin Shi fought through the pain and placed his hand on the remaining 700 or so gene pills. Absorb. Initially, after absorbing a full 10,000 points of origin power, the amount of origin power had reached its maximum limit. But now it continued to rise. New origin power flooded into his body, and the transformation seemed to speed up. Lin Shi felt the pain wasn't as severe as before. Perhaps it was just a numbing sensation now. And Lin Shi watched with his own eyes as the words Tier 4 gene lock on his personal interface suddenly jumped to Tier 5. User information, Lin Shi, 20 years old, male. Evolution level, Tier 5 gene lock. Origin power, 12,232 units. Mental power, 1,018 units. At the same time, the gene lock automatically opened. Evolution complete. Lin Shi opened his eyes. His brown pupils seemed to have lightened slightly. Everything within a 2-kilometer radius appeared in his mind. The scanning range of his mental power had doubled. Lin Shi stood up and looked at his hands. An unprecedented surge of power filled his entire body. His muscles didn't suddenly bulge, but they were brimming with a powerful energy, as if ready to explode. He dashed out of the safe room, as fast as lightning. The surrounding scenery was nothing but a blur. At this moment, Lin Shi's speed was so fast that the naked eye couldn't possibly track him. Reaching an open clearing, Lin Shi threw a punch at the ground. Boom! The fist tore through the air, producing a sonic boom, forming a powerful blast of air that slammed into the ground. The snow-covered earth caved into a deep crater. Lin Shi threw another punch at a cliff over 3 meters high. The cliff instantly shattered and collapsed with a rumble. If that punch hit a person, no matter what kind of defense they had, it would be useless. This was not a power a human could withstand, nor was it a power a human could generate. Lin Shi looked at his unscathed fist with a hint of excitement. A sense of arrogance, of being superior to ordinary humans, naturally welled up inside him. But that feeling was quickly brushed aside by Lin Shi. After all, he was still human. Even with formidable strength, it was only for self-defense. However, the immense power in his body made Lin Shi feel bursting with energy, eager to be unleashed. Today, I'm going hunting alone. Lin Shi took out a corpse processing kit from his spatial dimension and used a rope to drag a carcass deep into the mountains. The extreme cold caused the blood to freeze very quickly, so the smell of blood was also significantly reduced. But the sense of smell of origin beasts was completely incomparable to pre-apocalyptic wild animals. After dragging the carcass for over 10 kilometers, almost to the point of exhaustion, he finally encountered a Tier 1 origin beast. Lin Shi didn't dodge at all, throwing a punch right at the charging wild boar. How could a Tier 1 wild boar withstand Lin Shi's Tier 5 strength? It was instantly blown to pieces. Fresh blood and minced meat splattered across the white snow, blooming like a wild rose. That thick stench of blood attracted several starving origin beasts within minutes. Perfect. Lin Shi took out a large battle axe from his spatial dimension and charged at a Tier 3 origin beast. Over an hour later, the surrounding area, except for where Lin Shi was standing, was littered with dead origin beasts. They ranged from Tier 1 to Tier 3, and they all died exactly the same way, chopped in half by the axe. To the current Lin Shi, origin beasts Tier 3 and below could be instantly killed. They posed absolutely no threat, even if a dozen of them attacked at once. During this hour, Lin Shi simply went on a killing spree. Since the last beast died, he had never had such an easy and relaxing battle. His body seemed to have an endless supply of energy for him to expend. And Lin Shi also discovered a new ability after reaching Tier 5. His body would automatically absorb matter from the air to replenish itself, helping to maintain the gene lock state. Previously, the duration of the gene lock depended on the origin power in his body. When the origin power was depleted, the gene would automatically close. Now, as long as he didn't consume too much origin power, Lin Shi could maintain the gene lock state indefinitely. This ability might not sound like much, but just remembering that when the gene was unlocked, he could kill an origin beast of the same tier in just 3 seconds. One would understand how terrifyingly powerful this state was. Lin Shi didn't collect the origin beast corpses piling up faster than he could kill them. Instead, he continued to stand there and wait. He intended to use the scent from these origin beast corpses to lure out even stronger origin beasts. He still hadn't tested his limits. With the smell from so many corpses, it would definitely attract something. Sure enough, in just a moment, a brown silhouette appeared within the range of his mental power. This time, it was a Tier 4 grizzly bear. Every step this grizzly bear took caused the thick snow beneath its feet to cave in, leaving behind massive footprints. Its size far exceeded any grizzly bear humanity had ever seen, even larger than an elephant. Its paws and claws were bigger than those of a normal grizzly, and it had grown extra claws. Its wide mouth, filled with sharp fangs, left no doubt that a single bite would sever a head from its neck. Bring it on. Lin Shi didn't hesitate, gripping his large battle axe and advancing toward the grizzly bear. Roar! The gray bear saw Lin Shi approaching with a blood-soaked weapon and hesitated. As a level 4 beast, its intelligence was nearly human. Seeing such a small human advance on it, with the corpses of other mutant beasts behind him, its survival instincts made it take a step back. But Lin Shi wasn't about to give it a chance to escape. Leaning forward, he charged toward the gray bear, the great wheel axe in his hand glowing with a faint blue light. It was the last thing the gray bear ever saw. The giant axe slammed into its skull. Instantly, like splitting a watermelon, it cleaved the bear's head in two, even slicing halfway through its chest before the force dissipated. Hiss! Witnessing this terrifying power, even Lin Shi had to take a sharp breath. This was the first time he'd tested the great wheel axe's maximum power. To think it could kill a level 4 mutant beast in a single blow. And he'd struck the hardest part of its skull. If he had aimed for any other part, he might have split the entire bear in half. This power truly exceeded Lin Shi's expectations. He remembered that killing the level 4 saber-toothed tiger before had taken quite a bit of effort. Lin Shi looked at the great wheel axe in his hand. The faint blue light had faded, and a strange look appeared in his eyes. So strong. This kind of weapon is humanity's true asset against the mutant beasts. However, it consumes too much primal energy. Lin Shi glanced at his personal status panel. A single swing used about 3,000 points of primal energy. With his current reserves, he could only swing this axe 4 more times at most. The gray bear was as dead as it could be. Lin Shi pulled out the axe. Fresh blood gushed from the massive wound on the bear's body. The hot blood melted the snow, forming a small puddle. The thick, metallic smell drifted on the cold wind, deep into the mountains. Mo Wang loves this kind of mutant beast meat. I'll grill a bear paw for it when I get home. Mo Wang had already eaten more than half of the level 3 bear from before. With a slight thought, Lin Shi stored the gray bear in his dimensional space. Having killed so many mutant beasts, he was quite satisfied. Time to head back. He walked over to the mutant beasts he'd hunted earlier and stored them all in his dimensional space. Just as Lin Shi was about to put away the great wheel axe, a gray shadow flashed within the range of his psychic senses, moving as fast as lightning. Lin Shi didn't hesitate for a second. He twisted his body and raised the axe to block. Clang! A loud sound rang out as sharp fangs struck the axe blade. Lin Shi got a clear look at the mutant beast that attacked him. It was a beast about the same size as the gray bear from before. But this lion was completely different from any Lin Shi had seen in zoos before the apocalypse. It was as massive as that giant gray bear, but it had no mane around its neck. But that wasn't the most striking feature. The key was its wide-open mouth, revealing 4 sharp fangs, several times larger than the rest of its teeth. They looked like 4 razor-sharp daggers. Just looking at them, you could feel their sharpness and easily imagine what would happen if they bit into flesh. The powerful force traveling up his arm confirmed it. Before him was a level 5 mutant beast. Oh, for crying out loud. I ended up luring out a level 5 mutant beast. Lin Shi smiled bitterly, but his eyes showed no fear. He used the force of the impact to retreat, pushing off with his feet and quickly retracing his steps. The great wheel axe in his hand was now covered in a faint, almost invisible layer of blue light. He swung it fiercely at the level 5 giant lion. Seemingly sensing the sharpness of the axe, the giant lion quickly dodged, but its speed was still a notch faster than Lin Shi's. If it weren't for Lin Shi's level 5 reflexes, even a level 4 evolver would have trouble tracking its movements. It turned and opened its mouth wide at Lin Shi. Roar! A piercing roar erupted from the giant lion's mouth. Lin Shi was startled and quickly backed away. That wasn't an ordinary roar. It was a roar infused with psychic waves. However, this weak psychic force had no effect on Lin Shi. He didn't even feel a mental impact. Lin Shi was just surprised and wary that a level 5 mutant beast could use psychic power. Have all level 5 mutant beasts evolved this ability? Or are these 2 giant lions a special case? There was no time to think. After the roar, the giant lion slammed a paw into the snow, kicking up a massive cloud that shot toward Lin Shi. Instantly, using the moment Lin Shi's vision was obscured, it lunged, opening its maw of sharp fangs like a bloody cavern, viciously snapping at him. So it even uses tactics. Although his vision was blocked by the snow, Lin Shi remained calm. During a fight, he always used his psychic senses to cover the entire battlefield. A little snow couldn't obstruct his perception. In fact, it gave him a chance to counterattack. As the giant lion charged, Lin Shi leaned to the side to dodge, then focused his strength and brought the axe down on the lion's body. The giant lion's reaction was just as fast. It managed to dodge part of the blow at the last second, but it couldn't avoid it completely. Lin Shi's axe struck its tail. The sharp blade once again proved its worth. The single blow lopped off nearly half of the lion's rear and its entire tail. Roar! The giant lion fell to the ground, its pained roar shaking the entire forest. It quickly scrambled away from Lin Shi, its tail a bloody mess. The tail, as thick as a grown man's wrist, lay on the ground, still twitching. With its tail gone and a chunk of its rear missing, the giant lion had lost all its majestic aura as the king of the forest. It actually looked comical. Lin Shi didn't pursue. Instead, he rested the axe on his shoulder in a taunting gesture. Trying to play tricks on a human? You've still got a long way to go. Roar! The lion seemed to understand him. Its bronze-like eyes flashed with a crimson light, radiating killing intent and boundless rage. But it didn't attack. It just stared intently at the massive axe, still dripping with fresh lion's blood, clearly wary of it. Lin Shi didn't move either. He didn't have much primal energy left. He stood still, feeling the primal essence in the air being absorbed into his body. At the same time, he took out a gene serum from his dimensional space, holding it in his hand to absorb it. Lin Shi had over 12,000 points of primal energy. An hour ago, when killing the other mutant beasts, he had used over 1,000 points. 2 full power swings of the axe had consumed over 6,000 points. Right now, Lin Shi had 5,712 points of primal energy left, enough for only one more swing. Maintaining the level 5 gene lock also consumed a fair amount of primal energy, so he needed to replenish it. Don't be fooled by the fact that he gained the upper hand right away. It was all thanks to that surprise attack with the axe. This giant lion is very cunning and a step faster than me. After experiencing the power of the axe, it definitely won't be so easy to hit again. As expected, the giant lion slowly circled Lin Shi, its eyes looking like it could pounce at any moment. But it still didn't make a move. This was a tactic predators used against their prey, a standoff to wear down the opponent's stamina and create an opportunity to strike. The wound on the giant lion's tail quickly stopped bleeding. A man and a lion were locked in a stalemate, both radiating immense killing intent. After recovering over 6,000 points of primal energy, Lin Shi took the initiative to attack. But unfortunately, the giant lion was always a step faster than him, allowing it to easily dodge. Lin Shi's current advantages were his powerful axe and his trump card, a psychic attack. But now that this level 5 giant lion had also evolved psychic abilities, his own psychic attack might not be able to overwhelm it. If he missed, this intelligent lion would surely be on guard. So, Lin Shi only had one chance. As for Mo Wang's pack, besides Mo Wang, who could probably hold this lion down for a bit, the other mutant beasts would just be committing suicide if they joined in. Even Mo Wang wouldn't last long. Lin Shi certainly couldn't risk Mo Wang's life. After all, he wasn't in a desperate situation yet. In fact, he was the one with the advantage. The giant lion's advantage was its speed, which was a notch above Lin Shi's. If it wanted to run, Lin Shi would have a hard time catching it. And then there was its attack power. Sensing the primal energy fluctuations on the giant lion's fangs, Lin Shi had no desire to find out what would happen if he got bitten. Both were waiting for an opportunity to kill the other. And that opportunity came quickly. Within the range of Lin Shi's psychic senses, a pack of mutant beasts appeared. That's right, Lin Shi was surrounded. Over 100 mutant beasts were charging into his psychic range. Most were level 2, with a few level 3s. There were no higher level beasts. The giant lion slowly backed away and roared at Lin Shi, its beastly eyes filled with mockery, as if to say, "My reinforcements are here. You damn human. You're dead for sure." A second later, it let out a furious roar at the surrounding mutant beasts. Roar. Kill that human. Lin Shi had no intention of sacrificing his own beast army to stop this level 5 lion and create an opening for it. But the giant lion didn't have to worry about that. A tooth for a tooth. Today, I'll have my revenge. The lion roared, and mutant beasts charged at Lin Shi from all directions. Ferocious growls echoed continuously. Lin Shi tightened his grip on the great axe, not even glancing around him. His eyes remained fixed on the giant lion. Those low-level mutant beasts were just pawns summoned by this cunning beast king to distract him, creating a chance for a fatal blow. Lin Shi guessed this giant lion had likely devoured a large number of mutant beasts to advance its level. Otherwise, a level 5 mutant beast wouldn't have appeared in Sha City so soon. This also explained why this giant lion's pack was so small and low-level. Thanks to that, Lin Shi had a chance to counterattack. The mutant beasts rushing toward Lin Shi were completely unaware that another group had suddenly appeared behind them. Hua, Bibi, and Mo Wang's new right-hand beast, a level 3 white wolf, appeared one by one behind the pack. Even as a level 3 mutant beast, Hua was still just a leopard cat. Its small size made its appearance inconspicuous. Bibi, appearing next to Hua, was even harder to spot. Luckily, Lin Shi had positioned it at the rear. Otherwise, with its tiny body, it could have easily been snatched away by another mutant beast. As for the white wolf, its white fur served as camouflage, so it wasn't immediately discovered either. Lin Shi had already communicated with Mo Wang in the dimensional space, telling it to wait for his command with the other beasts. In the blink of an eye, a level 3 mutant beast charged in front of Lin Shi and attacked him. Lin Shi swung his axe in a single slash. Fresh blood and internal organs splattered everywhere. The level 3 mutant beast was cut in two, but Lin Shi's gaze never left the level 5 giant lion. The battle continued with brutal intensity. Mutant beasts fell one after another, but they kept charging forward relentlessly. Lin Shi coldly slaughtered them. The area around him was already piled high with mutant beast corpses, but more kept coming from behind. Lin Shi couldn't avoid being splattered with blood. The mutant beasts were large, and Lin Shi stood his ground without moving. After just over 20 corpses piled up, the mound was already 2 meters high. This pile of bodies blocked Lin Shi's line of sight, but it couldn't stop his psychic senses, which remained locked onto the giant lion. Finally, when more than half the pack had been wiped out, a level 3 jackal and a level 3 leopard cat attacked Lin Shi simultaneously from 2 directions. Lin Shi killed the jackal with one swing of his axe, but when he turned to deal with the leopard cat, his movements slowed. It all happened in a flash. Just as Lin Shi was about to cleave the leopard cat in two, the giant lion's eyes flashed red. It leaped over the 2-meter-high pile of corpses with lightning speed, opened its mouth wide, and bit straight for the back of Lin Shi's neck. This was the giant lion's best chance for revenge. Its ferocious eyes were filled with cruelty, as if it could already taste the fresh blood and brain matter of its hated enemy exploding in its mouth. But at that moment, the giant lion couldn't see the look in Lin Shi's eyes. If it had, it certainly wouldn't have acted so recklessly. Although his back was to the lion, Lin Shi's eyes held the excitement and satisfaction of seeing his prey fall into the trap. Finally took the bait. A powerful wave of psychic energy washed over the giant lion, causing its movements to stiffen. The moment the lion lunged, Hua and Bibi, who were hiding behind the beast pack, instantly received the psychic signal from Lin Shi. Lin Shi simultaneously launched a psychic attack on the giant lion. At the same time, the pile of corpses between Lin Shi and the lion suddenly vanished. Mo Wang, who had been lying in wait, appeared abruptly in front of the giant lion and charged straight into it. The white wolf had somehow gotten to Lin Shi's side. Just as the giant lion attacked Lin Shi, the white wolf bit down hard on its hind leg. Lin Shi turned around and saw the look of utter shock on the giant lion's face. It seemed unable to comprehend what was happening. Everything was beyond its comprehension. Although Mo Wang was smaller than the giant lion, thanks to careful preparation, it managed to knock the lion off balance. At the same time, the giant lion was bitten hard on the thigh by the white wolf. The white wolf was behind the giant lion, so it was relatively safe. But Mo Wang had collided with the lion head-on, putting it within striking range. The giant lion was furious. It opened its mouth and snapped at Mo Wang, its fierce eyes showing its determination to bite this aggressor to death. Mo Wang's speed was no match for a level 5 giant lion. It only managed to dodge the vital spots, but the sharp fangs still tore through the fur on its back. Just then, another wave of psychic attack arrived. This time, the giant lion was prepared, so it only paused for a negligible moment, almost unaffected. It immediately sank its teeth deeper into Mo Wang's flesh. Sensing another psychic wave, the giant lion's eyes grew redder, but it didn't care. It continued to bite down hard, intending to tear a large chunk of flesh from the level 4 mutant beast. To a level 5 mutant beast, it was a nutritious meal. But this attack didn't come from Hua and Bibi. A greatsword condensed from psychic energy materialized right after the mental assault, chopping down with immense force toward the giant lion's head. Everything happened very quickly. In reality, from the moment the giant lion lunged at Lin Shi to being ambushed by Mo Wang, and then to Lin Shi's attack, it all took place in an instant. Fights between high-level mutant beasts were that dangerous. Life and death were decided in a split second. Underestimating this psychic attack, the lion was stunned by Lin Shi's psychic greatsword. Its mouth unconsciously loosened its grip. Mo Wang seized the opportunity to escape, disappearing back into the dimensional space a second later. At the same time, a massive axe descended from the sky, carrying a powerful gust of wind, and struck the giant lion squarely on the head. This blow carried unparalleled power, sinking deep into the lion's skull. The giant lion's head shattered, and its eyes cleared for a moment. It wanted to use its claws to grab the small human in front of it, but it was too late. The sharp axe came down, cleaving more than half of its head before getting stuck in the hard bone. But it was enough. Its brain had been split in two. The giant lion was completely dead. Lin Shi pulled out his axe. The lion's massive body collapsed onto the snowy ground, creating a large crater. He took a deep breath and checked his primal energy. Only a little over 1,000 points remained. He said to Hua and Bibi, who were behind the beast pack, "Good job. You'll get a feast tonight." Capturing the giant lion so quickly was all thanks to Hua, Bibi, and the White Wolf. Of course, the greatest credit still belonged to Mo Wang. Lin Shi planned to reward these heroes with level 4 mutant beast meat. As for Mo Wang, Lin Shi looked at the giant lion's corpse in front of him. Mo Wang is about to evolve to level 5. The Beast King is dead. The beast pack summoned by the giant lion was about to flee. But then, Bao Jun, the long-armed ape, the clouded leopard, and the wolf pack suddenly appeared on the chaotic, snowy ground, surrounding the fleeing beasts. The scene was eerily similar to when the beasts had surrounded Lin Shi earlier. Lin Shi's voice was cold, devoid of any emotion. If you want to live, obey my command. The rest of you are today's lunch. That last part was for the long-armed ape and the clouded leopard. The two beasts had been with Lin Shi for a long time, almost since he became a beast tamer, so they understood his words. It was also time for them to find a few more subordinates. Hearing this, the clouded leopard and the long-armed ape became extremely excited, roaring as they charged into the remaining 40 or 50 beasts. Lin Shi had already killed most of the level 3 beasts. The rest were all level 2. Dealing with them was a piece of cake. More than an hour later, Lin Shi had harvested the materials from the level 5 giant lion's body, specifically its 4 giant fangs, a complete spine, and 4 leg bones. All of them were level 5 materials. To get so many materials from a single level 5 beast, Lin Shi couldn't help but marvel at his luck today. If his previous strike had hit the lion's spine, it would have been difficult to inflict such a massive injury. Lin Shi collected the materials. The remaining meat, including the tail that was cut off earlier and the corpses of the beasts he had just killed. It proved that the stronger the beast, the higher the proportion of its body that becomes material. Perhaps with even higher level beasts, the entire body would be a material. Thinking of this, Lin Shi couldn't help but observe his own body. As a level 5 being, had some of his body parts also evolved into materials? His hands and feet? He then shook his head with a wry smile. Humans and beasts have different evolutionary paths. The human body is much weaker than a beast's. At the same level, a beast's head is larger than a human's. One bite is all it takes, in terms of combatability. But in terms of psychic power, weapon usage, and intelligence, humans still have the upper hand. It's just that these advantages are gradually narrowing. Thinking of this, Lin Shi sighed. I've evolved this quickly just to be able to fight a level 5 beast. What about everyone else? If I hadn't lured out this level 5 beast king this time, who knows how long it would be before another massive beast tide. With our current strength, we absolutely wouldn't be able to withstand it. Could it be that humanity will be wiped out in this apocalypse? By then, beasts will run rampant. I definitely can't survive alone. Lin Shi looked at the clouded leopard in the distance, tearing apart the corpse of a beast that refused to surrender, and frowned. A sense of urgency, the need to become stronger, weighed heavily on him. Only by constantly growing stronger and understanding the increasingly powerful beast legions could he survive in this apocalypse. A dozen or so minutes later, the long-armed ape and the clouded leopard had finished dividing the spoils of the level 5 giant lion. Behind the long-armed ape were 8 level 2 beasts of the same species. Behind the clouded leopard were 11 level 2 beasts of various types, including wildcats, leopard cats, and foxes. The rest had become lunch for their beast legions. From this day forward, Lin Shi's mutant beast legion officially expanded to over 100. He stored the entire legion in his dimensional space, instructing the long-armed ape and the clouded leopard to manage their new subordinates well, and then returned to his safe house. Not long after Lin Shi left, the land, covered in fresh blood and snow, attracted several red-eyed mutant beasts. They licked up the fresh blood that had soaked into the snow and the leftover scraps of meat before leaving to search for new food. The direction they headed was toward Lu City, next to Sha City. Back in the safe house, Lin Shi took a hot shower to wash off the stench of blood. Afterward, he used his consciousness to check on Mo Wang's condition in the dimensional space. Mo Wang was quite seriously injured. Fortunately, its self-healing ability was very strong. The wound had already stopped bleeding thanks to its own licking. However, the giant lion's 4 fangs had created deep wounds, leaving 4 terrifying-looking holes in Mo Wang's back. Mo Wang, can you hear me? Lin Shi communicated with Mo Wang in the dimensional space using his consciousness. Mo Wang raised its head and responded into the air. Go ahead and eat the rest of that level 5 giant lion. I want you to evolve. Mo Wang happily stood up and walked toward its cave. Thanks to the long-armed ape, a skilled builder, Mo Wang's new cave was much larger than before. From the outside, it looked even bigger than Lin Shi's safe house. Lin Shi placed half of the giant lion's corpse in Mo Wang's cave. Mo Wang bit into the hind leg, powerfully tearing off a chunk and swallowing it whole. The other mutant beasts all knew the master favored their leader. They looked on with envy but didn't dare to approach. This was especially true for the beasts that had witnessed Mo Wang's previous evolution. They kept an even greater distance. Seeing Mo Wang finish half the lion's corpse, Lin Shi asked if it needed more. Mo Wang shook its head, then closed its eyes and began to digest. Half a day later, Lin Shi was practicing his psychic power while monitoring Mo Wang's condition. After eating the flesh of the level 5 beast, Mo Wang's wounds were healing at a dizzying speed. The giant lion contained a large amount of primal energy. Normally, it takes 10,000 points of primal energy to advance to level 5. The amount of meat Mo Wang ate contained at least 4,000 points of primal energy. Combined with the primal energy it had accumulated from eating other mutant beasts before, it should be enough to evolve. At midnight, Lin Shi woke up after recovering his psychic power and immediately checked on Mo Wang's situation in the dimensional space. One look, and he was startled. He hurriedly used his consciousness to contact Mo Wang. Mo Wang. At this moment, Mo Wang was tearing apart the corpse of a level 2 leopard cat in the dimensional space, one of the subordinates the clouded leopard had recruited this morning. On the ground were 2 other wildcats that had been almost completely eaten. The clouded leopard, which had been so proud of recruiting more subordinates than the long-armed ape, was now cowering in a corner, terrified. Oh, come on. Why is life so hard for a leopard? Mo Wang's 2 different colored eyes had also changed. The red eye glowed brighter, while the blue one had turned purple. It was clearly in an abnormal state. The other mutant beasts, even those close to Mo Wang like Bao Jun, the clouded leopard, and the long-armed ape, all hid far away, not daring to approach it. Hearing Lin Shi's call, Mo Wang stopped its frenzied actions. A glimmer of clarity seemed to return to its eyes. Mo Wang suddenly stood still, pacing anxiously and constantly shaking its head. It looked very uncomfortable. A moment later, its eyes flashed red again, and it seemed to fall back into a frenzied state, charging toward the fleeing group of mutant beasts. The dimensional space instantly descended into chaos. Lin Shi was extremely worried. He didn't even have time to get dressed. Still in his pajamas, he rushed out of the safe house and brought Mo Wang out of the dimensional space. Just as Mo Wang was about to pounce on a slow-running level 2 wolf, its surroundings suddenly changed, causing it to miss. Lin Shi's voice sounded from behind Mo Wang. Mo Wang, snap out of it. Mo Wang's current state must be part of the evolution process from level 4 to level 5. Level 5 mutant beasts can develop psychic abilities, so Mo Wang was tempering its psychic power. Lin Shi had to find a way to help it maintain its sanity and get through this stage. No wonder there were so few mutant beasts deep in the mountains. Perhaps that giant lion also killed quite a few when it evolved. Seeing Lin Shi and smelling his scent, Mo Wang's eyes cleared up a little. Wine. Mo Wang gave Lin Shi a wronged look, then quickly wrote a series of crooked words in the snow. Master, I think I'm going crazy. What do? I want to eat that leopard and those 2 big oafs. That leopard and those 2 big oafs were the names Mo Wang had given the clouded leopard and the 2 long-armed apes a few days ago. Lin Shi tried to sound gentle as he took a few steps closer, calmly reassuring it. It's okay. You're not going crazy. You're just developing your psychic abilities. Mo Wang took a few steps back and wrote in the snow, Master, I'll hurt you. Don't come any closer. Seeing Mo Wang's insistence, Lin Shi had no choice but to stop. All right, then listen to me. Relax your body. Lie down. Mo Wang obediently lay on the ground, its mismatched red and blue eyes filled with anxiety and worry. This scene stunned Lin Shi. Even though Mo Wang was now more than 10 times larger than before the apocalypse, Its pitiful expression reminded him of the first time he met it, also outside the safe house. Mo Wang had looked at him just like this. Back then, Mo Wang was just an ordinary stray dog. It clearly wanted to go home with him, but didn't dare to get close, afraid of being abandoned, afraid of being rejected. Those expressive eyes held the same anxiety and worry. Mo Wang seemed to remember something too, looking at Lin Shi calmly. Time seemed to rewind to that day. Lin Shi slowly walked up to Mo Wang and gently placed his hand on its head. His eyes were gentle but serious. I told you, we'll rely on each other to survive. You have to pull through. Oh woo. Mo Wang's eyes welled up with tears as it looked at Lin Shi. The abnormal red light in its eyes gradually faded, returning to their original red and blue. Sensing a wave of psychic energy transferring from Mo Wang, Lin Shi's face lit up with joy. Success. But the evolution process wasn't over yet. Mo Wang uncomfortably stood up and did a doggy stretch. Its body made a series of popping sounds from its joints. After stretching, Lin Shi noticed that Mo Wang seemed a bit taller. Then, Mo Wang continuously performed stretching movements, and its body grew like an inflating balloon. Just half an hour later, Mo Wang was a full size larger than before. Lin Shi initially thought Mo Wang would only grow a little bigger than that level 5 giant lion. To his surprise, Mo Wang wrote another line of words in the snow. Master, do you want me to be stronger or faster? Lin Shi was extremely surprised. You can control this? Mo Wang's doggy face showed a look of uncertainty as it wrote a less than confident sentence. I can try. For the next half hour, the primal energy in Mo Wang's body grew stronger, concentrating in its 4 legs. Its body stopped growing larger. The thick fur on its body also began to fall out. Lin Shi told Mo Wang to focus on speed. During the recent confrontation with the level 5 giant lion, if he had been faster, the fight would have been much easier. Mo Wang continued to transform. Eventually, Lin Shi took a chair out of his storage space and watched Mo Wang evolve. The whole night, until just before dawn, Missouri Wang's transformation finally stopped. By now, it had completely changed. Its original black and white fur was now much thinner, like a dog that had gone through winter. It was in its summer shedding phase. It had shed about a dozen pounds of fur. Its body was slightly larger than when it was level 4, but not significantly. Plus, with more than half its thick fur gone, it looked about the same size as it did at level 4. Lin Shi inspected Mo Wang's entire body. Except for its stronger limb bones, its fur and other parts were almost the same as when it was level 4. Other mutant beasts, when they evolved, either degenerated or grew extremely sharp skin and fangs. Lin Shi was a little worried that Mo Wang had a developmental defect. Well, his worries were unnecessary. The moment Lin Shi mounted Mo Wang to test its speed, a mischievous glint flashed in Mo Wang's eyes. A second later, it shot off like the wind. Caught off guard, Lin Shi was almost thrown to the ground. The scenery beside him blurred so fast it was hard for the naked eye to register, even with his excellent dynamic vision. Fortunately, Lin Shi quickly adapted to Mo Wang's speed using his psychic power. He quickly calculated that Mo Wang's speed had far surpassed the speed he could maintain with his gene lock, even double that of the level 5 giant lion. If Lin Shi's speed already exceeded the limit of a normal car and was on par with a race car, then Mo Wang's speed was more than twice that of a race car. Due to its incredible speed, Mo Wang only left tiny, barely noticeable footprints on the snow-covered ground. It ran deep into the mountains. A level 2 mutant beast that had just woken up to hunt suddenly felt a gust of wind blow past. Mo Wang had intentionally run past this mutant beast. It even tilted its head and spat a glob of saliva on the beast's face. The mutant beast felt something sticky on its face and licked it. It looked around but saw nothing, because Mo Wang had already vanished without a trace. Lin Shi didn't need to look to see the smug expression on Mo Wang's face. In the early morning, he was treated to a face full of wind by Mo Wang, all while in his pajamas. Returning to the entrance of the safe house, Lin Shi's hair was standing on end. Mo Wang's sudden appearance also startled Liao Peng, who was waiting at the door of the safe house. Seeing Liao Peng from a distance, Lin Shi immediately put on his mask. Mo Wang skidded to a halt right behind Liao Peng. Liao Peng turned his head just in time to get a face full of kicked-up snow. After wiping his face, he saw Lin Shi's current state and looked completely baffled. B-boss. Lin Shi's current appearance was, to put it mildly, not great. His hair was a wind-blown mess, like a crow's nest, and his loose pajamas were puffed up by the wind. The mask on his face only made the whole outfit look even more sloppy and disheveled. Fortunately, Lin Shi's aura and physique were enough to salvage this look, so it wasn't too ridiculous. But still, this was a frozen wasteland, in the bone-chilling cold of winter, with temperatures below -70 degrees. Lin Shi's appearance made Liao Peng shiver. Liao Peng couldn't help but tremble. Boss, aren't you cold? Lin Shi smoothed his hair and jumped off Mo Wang's back. It's all right. Why are you here? Is something wrong? Liao Peng immediately remembered his purpose. His expression turned serious. Yes, something's happened at the shelter. Leader Lin told me to inform you to come get the gene serum early. Since Liao Peng had given the Qi Yun primal core fragment to the shelter, Lin Tianrui had guessed that Liao Peng was one of Lin Shi's men. Lin Shi also knew that Lin Tianrui knew. Normally, Lin Tianrui wouldn't suddenly tell Liao Peng to have him come get the gene serum early, unless something had happened at the shelter. What happened? Liao Peng frowned, speaking with some urgency. The shelter is going to re-elect its leader. This time, it's a collective vote by all the survivors. Leader Lin isn't sure he'll win, so... Hearing this, Lin Shi frowned. The shelter wants to choose a new leader? Who? After Liao Peng explained in detail, Lin Shi finally understood what had really been happening at the shelter recently. Previously, although there were some internal conflicts in the shelter, thanks to the suppression of Xia Guohuang and Lin Honglong, things were relatively peaceful on the surface. Under Lin Tianrui's management, the shelter had gotten on track, at least 10 times better than the high city shelter from Lin Shi's previous life. But all of that was shattered by one person. Just as the shelter was taking in survivors and refugee soldiers from Chuan province, Lu Chaodian arrived at Sha City with over 100 exhausted soldiers. Lu Chaodian was the military commander of Chuan province. Previously, the scale of Chuan province's army was much larger than Sha City's. In addition, Lu Chaodian's rank was higher than Lin Tianrui's. He was a general. However, Sha City could only have one leader, and the army only needed one commander. Therefore, after arriving, Lu Chaodian could only become Lin Tianrui's assistant, just like the old high-ranking officials of the Xia Kingdom who came from the capital. At first, it was fine. After all, the two great elders of the Xia Kingdom, Xia Guohuang and Lin Honglong, were backing Lin Tianrui. But a few days ago, for some unknown reason, Lu Chaodian's soldiers, who were originally under Lin Tianrui's command, suddenly started complaining on behalf of their old commander, Lu Chaodian, and demanded to return to his command. Lu Chaodian had brought over 100 soldiers, most of whom were evolvers. Adding the stragglers from Sha City, he now had a total of 300 to 400 people, and this number was still growing. Although they didn't have the numerical advantage, this was already a considerable force. Among these soldiers, most were evolvers, many of whom had reached level 2. There were even 2 level 3 evolvers. A few days ago, Lu Chaotian suddenly announced at a meeting that he wanted to replace Lin Tianrui as the leader of the shelter. The reason was that Lin Tianrui had previously wanted to give the leadership position to Lin Shi. Lu Chaotian argued that if Lin Tianrui didn't want to be the leader anymore, he could take his place, but he absolutely could not hand over the future of the Xia Kingdom to someone of unknown origin. He promoted himself as young, healthy, and strong, a former commander who would certainly do no worse than Lin Tianrui. The meeting that day ended on a sour note after Lin Honglong slammed the table. But this news spread throughout the shelter within a few hours. Some people even spread unsavory rumors about Lin Tianrui. The next day, at the meeting, it was said that this matter was brought up again by Chen Xingxing and his cronies. After that, Liao Peng heard about the re-election of the leader. Immediately, he was secretly summoned by Lin Tianrui and told to inform Lin Shi to come get the gene serum. After hearing Liao Peng's story, Lin Shi frowned and thought, there must be things Liao Peng doesn't know. If Chen Xingxing and the others were dissatisfied with Lin Tianrui being above them and wanted to cooperate with Lu Chaodian to overthrow him, it's possible. But with Xia Guohuang and Lin Honglong present, How could they easily agree to a re-election of the leader, or to let all the survivors in the shelter vote? Lu Chaotian had only just arrived at the shelter. His reputation was definitely no match for Lin Tianrui's. This was clearly an unfavorable condition for Lu Chaotian in the election. So why was it brought up? Liao Peng continued. Right now, rumors are flying in the shelter. Many people are saying that Leader Lin is the illegitimate son of Commander Lin and his own sister. Commander Lin fell ill because of this, and Leader Lin's reputation has plummeted. Lin Shi scoffed. And people actually believe that. Liao Peng sighed. Someone produced a DNA test report, proving that Commander Lin and Leader Lin are indeed related by blood. Furthermore, Lu Chaotian promised that if he's elected leader, frozen fish will be provided to everyone for free, just like before. So, since it benefits them, even if it's not true, people are willing to believe it. Besides, Chief Xia hasn't appeared publicly in the shelter for a long time. Chief Xia is missing? Hearing that, Lin Shi finally understood that Lin Tianrui's situation was not good. Where's Wang Chao? Lin Shi asked. Wang Chao is still here. He's still loyal to Leader Lin. Liao Peng said angrily. But before, didn't Leader Lin have a bodyguard named Lu Ting? That guy publicly said that Leader Lin abused his position for personal gain, giving a lot of gene serum to you, boss. He also said that the resonator wasn't designed by you, but that you used your psychic abilities to steal the design from a researcher who wasn't in the lab that day. Now, many evolvers believe that you and Lin Tianrui have a shady deal going on to subdue Lu Chaotian. Lu Ting is still alive. This is clearly a conspiracy targeting Lin Tianrui and his supporters. But Lin Shi felt something was off. He asked, do people believe him? What about Li Xinke? Didn't he say anything? Director Li, he passed away a few days ago. What did you say? Lin Shi immediately grabbed Liao Peng. Lin Shi's gaze was so cold that Liao Peng, having never seen him like this, jumped in fright. Be boss. Lin Shi realized he'd gone too far and released his grip, his sharp gaze fixed on Liao Peng. What happened? How did he die? His mind flashed back to the time he spent with Li Xinke building the primal core. The old man had one foot in the grave, but his spirit was as vibrant as a young man's. He insisted on high-intensity research all day, a pace no one could keep up with. When he was in a good mood, he'd call him Little Brother Li, even though he was old enough to be his grandfather. When he was in a bad mood, he'd call him Stinky Brat. His mood changed faster than flipping a page. Lin Shi suddenly remembered New Year's Eve. Before leaving the research institute, Li Xinke looked at the crimson sky in the distance and said, if humanity really goes extinct, this world will lose so much color. I truly hope that when I close my eyes for the last time, I can still see this red, still see the continuation of our great Xia kingdom's 5,000-year civilization. How could that old man, who worked so diligently for the rise of the great Xia, die so suddenly? Liao Peng knew Lin Shi had participated in building the primal core at the research institute and didn't dare to hide anything. This is the information I've gathered. There's no official report yet, but it's highly likely. Because the research institute now has a new director. I heard he's Director Li's former student, the same one who said you stole his design, boss. Commander Lin's health is also related to Director Li's death. I heard they were friends for many years. Liao Peng truly respected these three old men. Liao Peng got most of this information from Wang Liang. Recently, Wang Liang was lucky enough to follow Wang Chao on a hunt for a level 3 mutant beast and was rewarded with a piece of its meat. A few days after eating it, he broke through to level 2, becoming a level 2 evolver. Because of this, he was pulled into the level 2 evolver team and was able to find out more information. Lin Shi's eyes narrowed, a murderous glint flashing within them. For all this to happen at once, it was definitely not a coincidence. To think someone would dare to plot against him. Lin Shi knew he had to make a trip, whether it was for the remaining 9,000 vials of gene serum or for being framed. He had to go. Moreover, he now felt a fire burning in his chest. If he didn't extinguish this flame, his heart would not be at peace. Liao Peng went down the mountain. Lin Shi stood there. Although his expression was hidden by the mask, anyone could feel the immense pressure around him. Mo Wang brought its head close to Lin Shi. Lin Shi stroked Mo Wang's head, his voice as cold as ice. Do you want to show these humans just how strong you are? Mo Wang yipped excitedly. Lin Shi returned to the safe house. First, he prepared breakfast for himself and his mutant beast legion. He changed into a conspicuous black combat suit, put on a tactical helmet, and armed himself fully. Except for Hua Hua and Bibi, he released all of his mutant beasts. Over 100 of them nearly covered the entire mountaintop. Lin Shi, mounted on Mo Wang, stood at the head of his army. Looking down, he said, "Today, I'm not taking you hunting. I'm taking you to kill people. Anyone who disobeys my command will be killed without mercy." Awu. Mo Wang was the first to answer, and the other mutant beasts roared in response. As Lin Shi advanced toward the shelter, in the courtyard of Lin Honglong's house, Lin Tianrui was taking care of the old commander. He was wiping him down. Lin Honglong's eyes were closed. The old general, who had fought his whole life, had become gaunt in just over a month. His chest rose and fell weakly, as if he could pass away at any moment. "Why are you so stubborn? It would be much better to go to the hospital. You'd even have young nurses to take care of you," Lin Tianrui said as he wiped him down, but his eyes held no trace of teasing, only worry and fear. Lin Honglong didn't open his eyes, just moved his lips slightly. "I don't want to leave this house now. I don't want to hear those people slander. Who dares to slander you to your face? Wouldn't you beat them to death?" "Humph. What authority do I have now? My lifelong reputation has been ruined by you. If I had known, I would have." Lin Honglong fell silent. In truth, Lin Tianrui was Lin Honglong's son, but no one in the shelter knew this. It was a complicated affair. In his youth, Lin Honglong had gotten a girl pregnant before he was married. At that time, he was at a critical point in his career and couldn't afford any mistakes. So, he gave Lin Tianrui to his older sister, Lin Tianrui's aunt, to raise. More than 30 years had passed. Lin Tianrui had always called Lin Honglong uncle, but they both knew their true relationship. They never expected this secret to be exposed and twisted into such a story. Now, Lin Tianrui's aunt, his nominal mother, had passed away. Without proof, outsiders could slander Lin Honglong however they wanted, and he couldn't refute it. "Don't dwell on the past. I'm already grown up. Do you still want to stuff me back in? You should see if you even have the strength for that now," Lin Tianrui retorted. Lin Honglong opened his eyes. "Feeling rebellious, are you? Just wait until I'm better. You'll know what a whip is for." Lin Tianrui tossed the washcloth into the basin, changed the blanket for Lin Honglong, then stood up and said, "Then you'd better get well soon. I've been feeling uncomfortable all over these past few days. Probably an allergic reaction." With that, he even stretched. Lin Honglong was furious. He grabbed the alarm clock on his bedside table and threw it at Lin Tianrui, but he nimbly dodged it. Lin Honglong was about to throw something else, but Lin Tianrui had already run out of the room. "You stinky brat. Just you wait until I'm better." Lin Honglong's curses echoed from behind. When Lin Tianrui left the room, Lin Honglong's personal guard outside the door thanked him. Lin Honglong's illness was mostly psychological. A sick mind needs medicine for the mind. Lin Tianrui visited twice a day. Although he angered the old man every time, his condition was visibly improving. Lin Tianrui regained his usual serious expression and left Lin Honglong's small courtyard. But as soon as he reached the gate, he saw an uninvited guest. His face immediately darkened. "What are you doing here?" Today, Chun Xingxing's face was ruddy and full of vigor, a stark contrast to Lin Tianrui's haggard appearance. Chun Xingxing clicked his tongue twice and sneered. "Great leader Lin, how many days did you get to sit in that chair? Don't have anyone to back you up anymore, do you?" Lin Tianrui clenched his fists, fighting the urge to punch Chun Xingxing in the face. He growled, "Is this the outcome you wanted to see? With dangers lurking outside, you're still fighting amongst yourselves?" Chun Xingxing said disdainfully, "It's precisely because of the dangers outside that we need a worthy leader, not some kid who only knows how to ride on the coattails of his elders to guide us." He was confident he would win the election, so he didn't hold back. Thinking of how Lin Tianrui had treated elders like him, Chun Xingxing wished he could grind him into the mud. "I wonder, since I became leader, I've never made any major mistakes in managing the shelter. I've always tried to be fair and just. Uncle Chun, why are you so hostile towards me?" After speaking, Lin Tianrui glanced towards the end of the street where Chun Xingxing stood. "Why? You little brat who still smells of your mother's milk, dared to step on my head. That's your greatest crime. I was already famous everywhere while you were still breastfeeding, yet you dared to provoke me in front of everyone. And now you ask me why I'm hostile to you. At this point, as if hitting a sore spot, Chen Xingxing pointed straight at Lin Tianrui's nose, his spit flying onto his face. In fact, ever since the icebreaker carrying Xia Guohuang and Chen Xingxing arrived in Sha City, Lin Tianrui had secretly discussed with Xia Guohuang how to arrange for the old elders of the Xia kingdom, like Chen Xingxing. The initial plan was to let them retire and not hold any real power anymore. The shelter would provide enough supplies for them to enjoy their old age. But Chen Xingxing and the others disagreed. The difference between peacetime and the apocalypse was already too great. Now they were being stripped of their power as well. How could they stand it? They declared their absolute loyalty to the Xia kingdom and wanted to use their last bit of strength to contribute to the future of humanity. They said they would rather be killed than forced into retirement. Because they had worked together for many years and were close friends, Xia Guohuang couldn't bring himself to kill them. Therefore, he could only let Chen Xingxing and the others serve as advisors, assisting Lin Tianrui. But after becoming advisors, these people continued to act according to their old habits. They gave orders and directed Lin Tianrui with the attitude of elders, influencing his decisions. Lin Tianrui was tired of these people. He said coldly, "It doesn't matter if I'm the leader or not, but the stability of the shelter cannot be broken. No matter who becomes the leader, I hope that person can lead everyone in the shelter to survive." Chen Xingxing showed a look of contempt, his voice full of mockery. "Stop pretending to be so noble. I know that. I don't need you, a little brat who still smells of his mother's milk, to remind me. I hope that when the time comes, if you lose the election, you won't hide in the shelter and refuse to leave. One mountain cannot contain two tigers." If Lin Tianrui wasn't elected, staying in the shelter would not only be humiliating, but would also affect the new leader's authority. Chen Xingxing would certainly not let Lin Tianrui stay in the shelter. He had even prepared a plan to eliminate him once he left. Lin Tianrui didn't want to argue with Chen Xingxing. He said coldly, "The election results are not yet known. Aren't you being a bit too hasty, Uncle Chen? Why don't you go back and vote for Lu Chaodian? Leader Lin doesn't want to see you either." With that, he turned and left, disdaining to exchange another word with Chen Xingxing. Watching Lin Tianrui walk away, Chen Xingxing clenched his fists behind his back, his eyes darkening. "Humph, let's see how long the two of you can act so arrogant." Lin Tianrui walked to the end of the street, where Wang Chao was already waiting. His eyes lit up. He pulled Wang Chao to a secluded spot and hurriedly asked, "How did it go? Did you get it?" Lin Tianrui asked, his eyes scanning Wang Chao as if searching for something. Wang Chao carefully looked around, and after confirming no one else was there, he said, "Leader, I have the gene serum. Over 3,000 vials in total. I've divided them and hidden them on my body. They shouldn't be able to find them for now." Chen Xingxing and his cronies wanted to go back on their word and give Lin Shi's 9,000 vials of gene serum to the Dark Knight group. They even went so far as to find people to fabricate stories and slander Lin Shi to tarnish his reputation. 9,000 vials of gene serum could be used with the tiger training method to quickly train a large number of level 2 evolvers. The tiger training method was a secret technique that helped evolvers enhance their spiritual power, and it was very effective. However, Lin Shi taking such a large quantity would certainly slow down the breakthrough speed of the evolvers in the shelter. But Lin Shi's resonator design perfectly compensated for this weakness, so it wouldn't have a long-term impact. But Chen Xingxing and his cronies obviously didn't think so. They wanted to take advantage of Li Xianke's absence to use these gene serums to create evolvers loyal to them. Lin Tianrui was firmly opposed to this action, so he had Wang Chao sneak into the research institute to get the stored gene serum. Currently, the warehouse didn't have 9,000 vials, so he had to give this amount to Lin Shi for now. He'd figure out the rest later. Lin Tianrui patted Wang Chao's shoulder and said sternly, "All right, you go now." Although Liao Peng is Lin Shi's man, he's only a level 1 evolver. It's easy for him to be intercepted. I'm not comfortable giving him so many gene serums. You find a place to climb over the wall and give these to Mr. Li. Tell him I will definitely find a way and will absolutely not let a meritorious person suffer. After you deliver the serum, don't rush back. Wait for my signal. Wang Chao nodded gravely, looking at Lin Tianrui with worried eyes. Leader, what if they find out? Lin Tianrui laughed heartily. I'm still the leader of the shelter. I have the right to distribute supplies. What can they do to me? Besides, as for the election, it's not yet certain who will win. Wang Chao knew the situation wasn't as simple as Lin Tianrui made it out to be. Lu Chaodian had already gathered his old subordinates, and even their side had many defectors. If a conflict really broke out, the consequences would be disastrous. It would also affect the ordinary survivors, and no matter who won or lost. It would be a heavy loss for the shelter, and even for the entire Xia kingdom. All right, leader. You be careful. Wang Chao knew that right now, he could only find Lin Shi quickly to resolve this crisis. Liao Peng has already informed Lin Shi. In theory, Lin Shi should be on his way to the shelter now. He should be able to meet him soon. Lin Tianrui nodded, wanting Wang Chao to hurry. But just then, the psychic power meter on his body suddenly vibrated violently. At the same time, Wang Chao's expression changed. The sound of steady footsteps echoed from the end of the street, accompanied by the deep voice of a middle-aged man. Wang Chao, you've got some nerve. A middle-aged man with an upright posture, dressed in a military uniform, appeared at the head of the street leading a squad of soldiers. This man was the commander of the Chuan Province Army, Lu Chaotian. Lu Chaotian was over 40, with a stern face, a prominent, sharp aquiline nose, and eyes as sharp as knives. He and his soldiers now surrounded Wang Chao and Lin Tianrui. Wang Chao, you stole strategic supplies with treasonous intent. Hand over the gene serum immediately and surrender. We will consider a lighter punishment. Lin Tianrui was shocked at how quickly Lu Chaotian had discovered Wang Chao's actions. The gene serum was usually stored in a special warehouse in the research institute, which required a special key to open. As far as Lin Tianrui knew, only Li Xinke had that key. But Li Xinke's key was in Lin Tianrui's hands. Coupled with Wang Chao's extraordinary skills, it was impossible to be discovered so quickly. Lin Tianrui looked at Wang Chao. Wang Chao was also extremely surprised, not understanding how he had been found out. But in a flash, Lin Tianrui calmed down. He knew he couldn't show weakness at this moment. He shouted loudly, Lieutenant General Lu, what are you doing surrounding us? Lu Chaotian's face was filled with disappointment and anger. Lin Tianrui, I really misjudged you. I never thought you were this kind of person, ordering your subordinate to steal important strategic supplies of the Xia kingdom. Where were you planning to have Wang Chao take these gene serums? To find that Li Erheo? Lin Tianrui maintained a calm expression. I don't know what you're talking about. At this moment, a person stepped out from behind Lu Chaotian. This person had the appearance of a middle-aged scholar with a small and thin build. Standing behind Lu Chaotian, he was completely obscured. Dressed in a white coat, he looked very inconspicuous. Only then did Lin Tianrui recognize this person. He frowned. Zhong Yuan. Zhong Yuan was Li Xinke's student, and also the first to betray Li Xinke after his death, joining Lu Chaotian and Chen Xingxing's research group. He was the one who had slandered Lin Tianrui before. Leader Lin, we've checked the warehouse. There isn't a single vial of gene serum left inside. It's cleaner than a rat's nest. Fortunately, I was concerned about potential errors in storing such valuable supplies, so I installed a special tracking device beforehand. The device shows that a level 3 evolver recently entered the warehouse. With so many witnesses, don't even think about covering for Wang Chao, Lu Chaotian added. Hand over Wang Chao, and this matter won't involve you. Otherwise, you'll be guilty of treason for ordering your subordinate to steal military supplies. The warehouse had a special tracking device. Lin Tianrui's pupils contracted, but he remained calm and said, I can bear the crime of treason. Besides, where did you get the key? Zhong Yuan raised his hand. My teacher copied a key for me to keep before he passed away. I am the vice director of the research institute. Now that my teacher is gone, I am the director. Of course, I have the right to manage the warehouse. Lin Tianrui didn't believe him. He knew Li Xinke would never entrust such an important key to someone else. If Zhong Yuan had a key, he must have secretly copied it beforehand. Lin Tianrui had only learned a few days ago that Chen Xingxing had bribed Zhong Yuan, but he didn't expect them to have gone this far. The evidence was clear. Stop trying to cover for your subordinate. Arrest him for me. Seeing Lin Tianrui remain silent, Lu Chaotian ordered 2 men to step forward and arrest Wang Chao. Those 2 were level 3 evolvers, Qin Kuai and Zhang Qing. They were trusted subordinates who had been through life and death with Lu Chaotian. Since parting with Lu Ting, Lin Tianrui had been worried about being followed, so he didn't bring any bodyguards today. On the contrary, Lu Chaotian had come prepared. Most of the men he brought were soldiers who had fought life and death battles with him in Chuan province. The situation was clearly unfavorable for him. Wang Chao knew his chances of winning were slim, but he wouldn't surrender. He activated his primal core and prepared for battle. Lin Tianrui, I advise you to tell your subordinate not to resist. If he accidentally gets killed by my men, it will be hard to account for. Lu Chaotian warned with a cold smile. Lin Tianrui's expression was troubled. Lu Chaotian wouldn't dare to touch him, but Wang Chao was caught red-handed. Even if he were killed on the spot, others couldn't say anything. He never thought this action would be a trap for Wang Chao. Lin Tianrui gritted his teeth, hating himself for not going personally. However, Lin Tianrui also understood that even if he had gone himself, the outcome wouldn't have been much better. These people had already set a trap waiting for him. Leader, I believe in my own strength. Even if I die, I'll take a few of them with me. Wang Chao was undaunted. Since it had come to this, even if he didn't resist, the outcome wouldn't be any better. They might even use him to threaten Lin Tianrui. He would absolutely not let himself become a burden to Lin Tianrui. He surged with primal energy and actively met the attacks of Zhang Qing and Qin Kuai. Lin Tianrui watched Wang Chao fight fiercely with Zhang Qing and Qin Kuai, never having hated his own weakness as much as he did at this moment. If his strength was as great as Lin Shi's, reaching level 4, would these people dare to be so arrogant in front of him? At this moment, Lin Tianrui for the first time understood the importance of strength in this apocalyptic world. His gaze swept over Lu Chaotian and the large group of level 2 soldiers he led, and he sighed. He couldn't just stand by and watch Wang Chao die in front of him. Just as he was about to accept his fate and give up his position as leader to have them release Wang Chao, suddenly, the short-range communicator on his hip buzzed. Leader, it's bad. A beast tide is coming. Lin Tianrui's face fell. He looked at Lu Chaotian. A beast tide is here. Stop this now and come back to the city with me. Lu Chaotian said nothing, nor did he signal for Qin Kuai and Zhang Qing to stop. He was so close to success. How could he let this opportunity slip away? Qin Kuai and Zhang Qing exchanged a look, understanding Lu Chaotian's intention and prepared to quickly capture Wang Chao. A beast tide was coming, a matter of life and death, yet Lu Chaotian was still determined to capture Wang Chao first. Lin Tianrui clenched his fists in anger. How could he entrust the shelter to this kind of person? Just then, a whistling sound came from above. Qin Kuai hurriedly dodged. A sharp blade stabbed into the spot where he had just been standing. The blade didn't touch the ground. Immediately, a person descended from above. A woman in a white tracksuit, with a slender figure, landed on the ground. It was Qin Shuang, who had discovered the situation and rushed over. With Qin Shuang's arrival, the battle immediately became 2 against 2. A dark glint flashed in Zhong Yuan's eyes. He had sent someone to lead Qin Shuang away. How did she get here so quickly? At the same time, the sound of steady footsteps echoed from a distance. Qin Shuang stood straight and said coldly, Our people have gathered. Commander Lu, how long are you going to keep our leader surrounded? At this point, Lu Chaotian knew his plan had failed. They had missed the chance to cut off one of Lin Tianrui's arms. This was a plan Qin Xingxing had prepared long ago, yet it was ruined by a bunch of animals. Lu Chaotian gritted his teeth in anger at the beast tied outside the shelter. His face darkened. He waved his hand angrily and said, Humph. Back to the city. Seeing Lu Chaotian finally give up surrounding Wang Chao and lead his team to the city wall, Lin Tianrui nodded in appreciation at Qin Shuang. Without time for more words, he also ran to the city wall. The group quickly reached the top of the wall. A soldier reported that the beast tide was a few hundred meters away from the shelter. It was snowing today, and visibility at a few hundred meters was quite poor. Even a level 2 martial artist would have difficulty seeing the situation clearly. They could only see a dark mass of mutant beasts in the distance, their shapes vague, standing a few hundred meters away. The number wasn't large, much smaller than the previous beast tied. As soon as Lin Tianrui set foot on the city wall, he immediately asked the captain of today's patrol, "What's the situation? How many mutant beasts?" "Leader." As soon as Lin Tianrui arrived, all the soldiers saluted in unison. Reporting, "Leader. The distance is too great. We estimate over 100. Although Lin Tianrui's reputation in the shelter was currently affected, the soldiers still respected him greatly. They didn't care about Lin Tianrui's background. They only cared about the years they had spent with him. Lin Tianrui was a fair and impartial person. They also believed that the hero of their imagination, Li Erhao, was not someone who would steal the fruits of others' labor. Anyone with a clear mind knew that the recent events in the shelter were all related to Lu Chaotian. Unfortunately, the survivors didn't care who was the leader. They only wanted to know who would benefit them more. As for those rebellious martial artists, they were also only looking at their immediate interests. Many soldiers looked at Lu Chaotian and his companions with hostile eyes. Before Lin Tianrui could say anything, Lu Chaotian spoke up. Just a few mutant beasts? All martial artists, go out and eliminate them." Having his good plan ruined by this group of mutant beasts, Lu Chaotian was furious and just wanted to quickly resolve this so he could continue dealing with Wang Chao. After speaking, he glanced meaningfully at Wang Chao. Wang Chao said, "We can't be careless. Mutant beasts evolve much faster than humans. We can't rule out the possibility of high-level mutant beasts in this tide. We need to determine their strength first." "Leader, a mutant beast is approaching." In the swirling snow, a huge figure slowly approached the shelter. Gradually, from the city wall, they could clearly see the shape of that mutant beast and the person riding on its back. "Li Erhao, the hero." In astonishment, many people exclaimed, "It's Li Erhao." Lin Tianrui and Wang Chao looked at each other, both seeing the surprise in the other's eyes. They knew Lin sure might come, but they never expected him to be this fast. "Li Erhao. So it's Li Erhao." Lu Chaotian looked at the approaching figure below, but his expression was thoughtful. After his surprise, Lin Tianrui said to the person behind him, "Inform the men to open the city gate." The soldier was about to follow the order when an arm blocked him. "Wait." Lu Chaotian, who wanted to go down and tell the soldiers to open the gate, was stopped. He looked at Lin Tianrui with disapproval. The opponent's intentions are unclear, and he's brought a ferocious beast with him. "Leader Lin, how can you disregard the lives of the tens of thousands of survivors in the shelter?" Wang Chao said, "Comrade Li Erhao is an honorary officer invited by us. He is not an enemy.